Boom. How are we all doing? Been a while. It's been a while since we've done one of these. The only reason I'm starting a bit late, a few minutes late, always am late nearly with these lives, but the main reason why I'm starting this one a little bit on the late side is I wanted to catch the second round because it was getting an interesting round there with Hrgovic versus McKeon. How are we all doing this evening? How are we all doing this evening? Stream looks all right there. Oh, Hrgovic taking a few shots there from McKeon. I have to say, Hrgovic is landing on McKeon, but McKeon is definitely game. He's walking onto way too many shots, though, as MC McKeon. Like, Hrgovic isn't exactly Pernell Whitaker in there in terms of defense, but he's definitely doing a lot better than McKeon at this stage. But McKeon, to me, he just looks fairly run of the mill. He looks fairly run of the mill in there. I'm starting this off straight away, just going into the boxing. But he looks fairly run of the mill as MC McKeon. But Hrgovic is making a hard time. Look at the punch stats. Hrgovic has landed at over 50%, but McKeon's landed at 32%. Now, he's not throwing as much. But Hrgovic, he's not exactly Pernell Whitaker in there, but he definitely is the better of the two. You can see that. You can definitely see that from this. But I'm not liking so far from what I'm seeing from Hrgovic. It looks to be a very laboured performance again. He is landing the right hand. It has to be said. So at range, he's not looking too bad. But I wonder, is it an issue? Oh, I'm just going there. But I'm wondering, is it an issue with the southpaw? That he's just struggling to get to grips with that southpaw stance of Dempsey McKeon. Bit likewise with Zhilei Zhang. And again, I'm seeing Hrgovic again. So when Hrgovic turned over, again, we're straight into it. When Hrgovic turned over, I'll get to the comments in 2 seconds, lads. He was a lot leaner than this. And I've noticed over the course of his career, he has looked a little bit softer and softer and softer. I felt Hrgovic was a way more impressive specimen of a fighter, if that's what you want to say, a couple of years ago when he was a bit leaner as well and just looked aesthetically a bit more pleasing. But he is landing. It's not a bad little scrap. I will say I'm surprised it's on now. I actually thought that this would be co-main. Amazingly, Washington versus Chisora is co-main. Okay. I don't really understand why they put that on as co-main, but AO, that's on a postcard, 75 in the building already. Hit the like button if you can. I'll read a few of these comments. Big up to Ali Drew, as always. Yeah, we haven't done a watch-along in a long time. I think Jake Paul left hook goes in there. I staggered Dempsey McKeon a little bit there. Hrgovic needs to be very careful. Like, he's going in there very reckless. He could get countered. And JJ, I haven't got a link. I'm watching it on Standard DAZN. I'm watching it on the TV. I have it on the TV, so I don't have a link. And I haven't seen any links floating around yet today, so apologies. Oh, good shot went in there from Hrgovic, all right. And he is swinging, but very crude. But McKeon's hurt there. McKeon looks staggered, and round 3 ends. I haven't seen it, but I did hear about it. And even to Reese, Hrgovic he's not looking amazing. Hey, G-Man, how are you? Where are you at? I'm at home, man. I'm at home. Unfortunately, still in Dublin, but hopefully soon that won't be the case. Soon. Hey, big up to Dave. What did I think of Johnny Fisher? I thought he looked bang average. And I think that if they made him versus Moses Atelma next, I'd be picking Moses Atelma. Personally, I mean, he made a rookie mistake straight off the bat. So he hurt the guy, which was good. He got him cold. But then he punched himself out. And if it wasn't for the fact that Harry Armstrong really can't punch, could have been in trouble. Bit random. I've been arguing out with my pals. I maintain Inoue smashes Dennis McKeon. Oh, yeah. Smashes him to bits. Big up to Adam. He sounds like he's smoked a pound of weed. Oh, I thought you said I do. I was like, I don't even smoke weed. I was like, what? Well, he's definitely looking laboured. 4th round just starts. If I can't read some of your questions, apologies, because I want to try and I want to give you guys a little bit of punditry and commentary as I do with these live watch-alongs. It means you're not having to listen to the commentary team that we had to listen to, certainly for the first 2 fights on this card. So I'm giving you something different, from a different perspective, from someone who's just calling it like he sees it. And I have to say, this is the first real time I've had a proper good look at Dempsey McKeon. And I have to say, I'm surprised in a way that they didn't. Oh, good shot goes in there again from Hrgovic. I'm surprised they didn't look at getting him as an opponent for Joshua, to be honest with you, because he doesn't look like he has much to trouble anybody with. And I think Joshua would have had a nice, easy time with this guy. I really do. He seems to. Oh, big shot goes in there again from Hrgovic. Dempsey McKean retaliates. Lands one's well blocked by Hrgovic. So Hrgovic again, he's not looking amazing, but he's not really in there. I'm not seeing anything from Dempsey McKean that's jumping out at me. That's really saying to me that this guy is going to be a problem for any of these heavyweights. I think Filip Hrgovic, if he steps on the gas, which he is doing, a shot goes in there for both guys. I saw the head snap back there at Dempsey McKean, but still retaliating with his own shots. Hrgovic getting Dempsey McKean backed up again the ropes. He's pushing him back, and then some shots go in. Don't really land. Body shots go in from Hrgovic. The both guys in the clinch. Both guys are looking tired already. Now, this fight hasn't been fought at a frantic pace, but both guys definitely looking like they're feeling it a little bit in there. They want to be careful. This is a set for 12 rounds, bear in mind. And both guys, Dempsey McKean more so, looks like he's feeling the pace of this fight already, but it's not stopping him from throwing. The shot goes in there. Hrgovic want to be careful with that guard. He almost let that guard down too low. Some shots go in there again from Filip Hrgovic. He's really primarily focusing on that right hand, which is the key shot against the southpaw. Straight right hand lands in again. Dempsey McKean, no real cover for it. And again, you see Hrgovic is not really setting it up with the jab because, again, the southpaw, there's not really much point in doing that. Another right hand goes in there and he gets Hrgovic, or he gets McKean backed up again the ropes, Filip Hrgovic. McKean just clinches his way out. And I want to read that super chat 100%. Tell Jack Hill to get himself to the gym with his dad. Jack, man, you got to get yourself to the gym with your dad. Mate, get yourself to the gym. If Darren is your dad, get yourself to the gym with him. And mate, I appreciate the 10 quid. So tell him, G-Man is saying it on a video. Jack Hill, get yourself to the gym with your old lad, with your dad. That's what we say in Ireland, by the way. Where do you want to live in London? I was thinking Stratford or Forest Gate or Finchley Park. It's kind of just north of Islington. It's near Highbury. I was thinking of those places. But yeah, Stratford, kind of Forest Green, Finchley Park, places like that. Cheap, but close to the city. Well, I say cheap. Nothing in London is cheap. I was even thinking of Ilford because it's a bit out the way, but it would do. Because I don't want to share. You know, I don't particularly want to share accommodation, especially if I'm doing videos and watch-alongs. I'd like it to be just quiet because God knows if you had roommates. Yeah, Finsbury Park, thank you. Or I knew I had the name of it, but it was Finsbury Park as well, yeah. That's actually quite nice, Finsbury Park as well. There are 3 places. Obviously, I like Westminster, but I couldn't. Westminster is, and even Waterloo. He has the chance to train with Dominic Ingle, Kid Galahad, and lads and lasses, and does not know how lucky he is. Please explain, G. If you have the chance to train with them in a gym like that with Dominic Ingle, I've trained in a pro gym, and I have to tell you now, when I was trying to do something in the amateurs, training in a pro gym, I trained in a pro gym here in Ireland, was one of the best experiences you could ever have. And training, and bear in mind, I was training around guys like Spike O'Sullivan and people like that, so they wouldn't be at the level of a Kid Galahad and people like that. Training in a gym with those people around trainers who just know boxing to a T is one of the best experiences you could have as a young fighter. If you're a young pro or a young amateur, I would 100%, I cannot emphasize enough how important that would be. If you have the chance to train in that gym, I would, look, if I was still looking to do an amateur thing and I was in Sheffield, I'd be straight up to that gym. I wouldn't even hesitate. It's just that Dominic Ingle says, do you want some Pringles? I'd say no. Avoid it. Yeah, Finsbury Park, that's where I was talking about, mate. And again, thank you for the 20 quid, man, already. Thank you. I appreciate that very much so. I really do. As a young man, he's 8. He's only a wee tyke. He's only a wee nipper, man. But no, seriously, be around those guys even at that age, man, that would, if I had a son, which I don't, and he was around that age and looking to get into, some shots go in there from Filip Hrgovic, sorry, mate. But if I had a son and he was around that age and I had the chance to get him around, I'd 100%. I would, and he was into it, I'd 100% bring him to a gym like that, 100%. You know, getting to know those guys and getting to see it, oh man, you can't buy that. You honestly can't buy that. But I was in my 20s, I'm still in my 20s, but I was in my earlier 20s when I was in Celtic Warriors gym here in Dublin, and it was a great experience. Honestly, I can't emphasize how good experience it was being around those guys. It was amazing. I sometimes do, Reese, wish I'd started earlier, but at the same time, I was never that good. I could have got better, but I prefer doing this. So if I can never be a pro boxer, that's fine. If I can do something in the world of boxing, journalism, or punditry, then I consider that a big success. I consider that a massive success. But we're in the 5th round here, and I think Hrgovic is really starting to come into it. Again, I'm looking at Dempsey McKean, and I'm really thinking, oh, that's a big shot came in there from Hrgovic. Dempsey McKean definitely felt that. Dempsey McKean holds. Hrgovic should have stepped on the gas there. He really should have. I heard Andy Lee in the 2nd round saying that he feels that Hrgovic tends to step on, be a bit selective when he steps on the gas. He definitely hurt him there. He definitely rocked him there, and he really should have opened up a little bit. He just took a step in and let Dempsey McKean back into it. Some more exchanges go in there. Filip Hrgovic needs to. That straight right hand is working. Keep it up. Keep it up. The round ends. A big up to Nick every single time. 138 already in the building. Look at that. 138. If you haven't already, lads, smash the like button. Help your boy out. We literally just passed 12,200 today. So I'm trying to see if we can get maybe another. That's 100 a week for the last, 4 weeks we've got, which is pretty damn impressive. So if you haven't and you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I've currently 12,201 subscribers, which is nice. It's nice. I like that. I like that. I like that. G-Man Richard Dwyer is a true beast. I think he has a better record than Foreman, than Hatman. Now, Hatman's my guy, as is Richard Dwyer. I like Richard Dwyer as well. But Hatman's my guy, 100%. A big up, man. Hope you're good. Hope you're all well, too. 154 in the building already. We're not even 15 minutes in. Boom. But we're 6th round. Into the 6th round here. Filip Hrgovic is well in control in this fight. 100%. He needs... I'm just going to say he needs to step on the gas because he is better than Dempsey McKean. Dempsey McKean is bang average from what I'm seeing here. And Filip Hrgovic, I don't know if he's worried about emptying the tank, but I think he could afford. Like, he's landing that straight right hand with regularity. It reminds me a little bit of when Zhilei Zhang was fighting Joe Joyce in the roles reversed. He was obviously fighting out of the southpaw stance. He was landing the left hand with regularity. And I think he needs to do it here because I think he's waiting too much. And look, Dempsey McKean's there able to just get in and just outwork Filip Hrgovic there a little bit. He doesn't need to be doing that. He really doesn't need to be doing that. The right hand, just throwing it from the orthodox stance, is working for Filip Hrgovic. And he's looking a bit tired now, I have to say, because he's not done much now in this last round. He's really not. G-Man, can you shout out Big James Hawkswood, heavyweight prospect from commentary, remember his name? Yeah, shout out to James Hawkswood. Big up. I'll look you up, man. I'll look you up as soon as we finish here tonight. I'll make sure I remember that name. Nick picked Hrgovic in 7. You might be right. Although saying that, he's starting to come back into it now in this part of the round. But I wouldn't be shocked if Filip Hrgovic does, because Dempsey McKean, it doesn't look like he has gas tank at all. Now, you got to remember, he's been out of the ring as near as makes no difference a year. So that is going to have an impact on Filip Hrgovic's ring rust and stamina. But it's been a while since I've looked at Hrgovic and really looked at a performance and thought, yeah. And that's the annoying thing, because there's a very good fighter there. A very, very good fighter. And he opens up a little bit again there on Dempsey McKean, but still to no avail. Dempsey McKean still there. Oh, and just rocks fit. That wasn't hurt. That was more a balance thing. Kind of shoulder Filip Hrgovic there. Filip Hrgovic back up again the rope. Dempsey McKean is holding a lot and really, really grabbing Filip Hrgovic. Almost Lawrence Okoli-esque in there. Another right hand comes in from Filip Hrgovic, but yet again to no avail. Dempsey McKean unable to land with the left hand. What I would be saying to Filip Hrgovic is the jab to the head, obviously, against the southpaw is probably not the best punch, but I wouldn't be overly unhappy if he decided to maybe do a little jab to his chest area, because that might just offset him a little bit and get the hands down. Just a little jab to kind of the chest area and then come with the right hand, because he's throwing that right hand quite quick, which is good. And he's able to land with it. So if he has his eyes off the prize looking down at his chest and then boom, maybe that's what I'm thinking there. But Nick, you could be right. We're going into the 7th round now, because the round will literally go to the left hook there from Hrgovic. Oh, Hrgovic dropped back a little bit. Round ends. Glenn, Strength Addiction, low tier. Big up G, love your channel. I appreciate it, thank you. Do you believe AJ will KO Helenius, truthfully? I think he will. I think he will. I would say, I'm reckoning that it's going to be probably in around, between rounds 3 to 5, 6. So the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th round, one of those. I think the first 2 rounds, he might just play it easy, play it safe. I'll tell you the truth. I had a dream last night that Helenius actually stopped Anthony Joshua. I actually dreamt that he hit him with a right hand and put him down. And any time I've ever dreamt about a fighter winning, they've always lost. I actually remember that. Any time I've ever dreamt about a fighter winning, they've always lost. So that's not a good omen for Robert Helenius. As we go in here to round number 7. Halfway through this fight already, and yeah, it is another, took something to improve his stamina. I mean, mate, I wouldn't be shocked if they're all doing something, to be honest with you. It's just the case of who's on the better stuff, because nothing surprises me in this sport anymore. It wouldn't surprise me if everyone is, to be honest with you. It really wouldn't. It really wouldn't. And what I will say is that that fight against Joyce, he was having it his own way. He wasn't so much having it his own way. He was having to work a little bit more against someone. He definitely was having to work more against Hrgovic. So maybe that contributed to it. Thanks for acknowledgement, Jay. Appreciate it. Anytime, mate. 100% anytime. It's harder with these to get to all the comments than it is with an average live, because you're trying to focus on the fight at the same time as you're trying to talk through the fight and then see the comments come through. So it's not as easy. It's definitely not as easy. Remember, he was so tired against Jerry Forrest. I think he was actually quite unwell going into that fight, though, mate. I think some people said he had issues with his kidneys or something going into that fight. Referee having a talking to both guys. So yeah, it is difficult to get to the comments when you're trying to do the commentary for this as well. And I'm trying to save you the hardship of listening to Mike Costello and or Darren Barker, because I don't wish that on people. But again, like Nick, I think you're losing out here. I don't think you're going to get round 7 by the looks of things, because both guys don't look in good shape at all. Both guys look absolutely knackered already. And as I said, it's not like they're fighting at a murderous pace, even by heavyweight standards. It's really scruffy. How's Hrgovic doing? He's winning. I think he should be doing a little bit more, if I'm honest. I think he's definitely, you can see he's the better of the two. I definitely think that Dempsey McKean is making it awkward in there, and he just, yeah, it's not been compelling viewing, to say the least. What time does AJ fight at? It should be around 10 p.m. It should be around 10 p.m. But if this fight goes the distance and the next fight go the distance, it's probably going to go a bit longer. Or Hrgovic again. Both guys, this is a very sloppy fight. Very, very, very sloppy. Both guys seem tight. And do you know what? Dempsey McKean is holding, but Filip Hrgovic opens up a little bit of a combination there, but back into another hold. This is really not looking good. This is reminding me of a lot of Lawrence Cody's fights, where it's just holding and incessant clinching. It's being instigated by Dempsey. Oh, big left hand or big right hand goes in there by Filip Hrgovic, but not much power on it. Although saying that, Dempsey McKean's still looking to hold. Really looking to hold a lot. He seems to be in survival mode, Dempsey McKean, in this fight, and it's not making for a compelling viewing at all. The referee needs to get in there and actually have words with him, because he's initiating all these clinches, and it really don't look good. Helenius got a TKO Joshua within 45 seconds. I doubt that very much, man. I'm not giving Helenius a prayer. I will still do crime videos sporadically, mate. Sporadically. Unless something big changed. But sporadically, I'll keep doing them. It's not going to be probably as regular as I wanted it to be because just time wise. So it's going to be more a kind of sporadic kind of thing, if you know what I mean. But 182 in the building. I appreciate it all, lads. I really do. I really do. No, I would say I heard Bob Arum say they're going to try and look at the Fury fight again. I think he's just saying that to keep just for whatever reason. But I wouldn't imagine Alexander Usyk is looking at Hrgovic based upon this performance and thinking, "Oh, I'm in. I might have to be on the game." He won't have to really. He's not going to be looking at this and thinking, "Oh, I need to be. You know what? I'm not impressed at all with this fight from Hrgovic. McKean is making it very sloppy. He is, and McKean is no great shakes. Like from the first 2 rounds, I was having a look at him and I was like, "No, there's not an awful lot here in what he's doing. There's not really anything sophisticated. There's nothing really to worry about." Why did Fury need till October to fight Ngannou? Your answer is your guess is as good as mine, mate. It makes no sense for me. The only thing I can think of is, and some combination goes in there by McKean. The only thing I can think of is that he has more injuries that he's not telling people, and maybe he just felt that he needed a good long time to let his body rest for whatever, for want of a better word, and do it in October. That his own commentary is terrible. Yep, you don't get no arguments from me. That's why I do these watch-alongs a lot, and I have I obviously have the TV muted for obvious reasons. I don't want it to interfere with the sound on this, but I find it very difficult to listen to the zone. Certainly the UK team's commentary, it's not amazing at all. It's very, very biased, and yeah, it's not really. I think the zone changes need to be made there with the team. I really do. I think that a lot of changes need to be made. Starting with the commentary team. It's really not. Yeah, TalkSport. Adam Cattrall is on TalkSport commentary. He's normally quite good. TalkSport commentary is normally used. TalkSport are very good commentators, to be fair. They normally do. And yes, everyone do please like the video. But again, this fight, it's not been the most compelling viewing. I did think this would be co-main event, but it's obviously not. We're going to have Chisora versus Washington as the co-main. It's going to be an interesting fight. I think that fight has fireworks written all over it. Depends what way it goes. But I wouldn't be shocked if that fight is over nice and quickly. But this fight, it's gone longer than I anticipated. It really has. Although Dempsey McKean, again, making this fight very messy. Very messy. Tony Bellew wasn't impressed with him. Very rare I agree with Bellew, but I agree with him. I wasn't impressed either. Very rare. That's a rarity. I agree with Tony Bellew. He normally talks absolute nonsense, but yes, I agree with him. I wasn't impressed at all. I mean, he made a rookie mistake, punched himself out in the first round, and he needed a good bit of time to recover. He let Harry Armstrong back into the fight. Now look at this. Filip Hrgovic. This is really not a good look for Hrgovic. I'm not liking what I'm seeing at all here. His stamina looks absolutely horrendous. I'd like to, but not yet. Not yet. I'd like to. I'd love to have an interview with him. Oh, that's the guy who beat Cash Ali. I saw he lost a couple of weeks ago. I'll have to have a look at him, mate. I've not been too high on Johnny Fisher. I've never even reviewed one of his fights. I'd have to have a look. I couldn't turn around and say for definite, like, this guy's going to beat this guy without having a look. But if I do know Cash Ali lost a couple of weeks ago, so I'll have a look at him. I'll definitely have a look. That was on Fight TV, wasn't it? Or Fight Zone. Maybe on Fight Zone. But I have to say, I've been very unimpressed with this fight so far. Hrgovic, I mean, what has happened to him? His stamina looks horrendous. Like, it genuinely looks absolutely awful. And, you know, as I've said, like, you know, I've sang Filip Hrgovic praises for a long time on this channel. And I have said I'd like to see improvements, that he's stagnated a little bit. In some ways, you could say he's regressed. This fight here is really... He doesn't look like he cares. That's the best. And last year, his father passed away, and losing someone close to you is very difficult. Believe me, it's extremely difficult. I understand that in that scenario, it would be difficult to really focus on it. But it's a year later, and he's still looking as disinterested as can be. It's a worry. I don't know what's happened there with Filip Hrgovic. I really don't. Is there something more to it than that? What is it? Because I saw Filip Hrgovic early in his career, as I've said, and I was a lot more impressed. He seemed a lot more lively and just sprightly. He doesn't seem to have that here. But the right hand again goes in. And he was landing that right hand quite regularly early on in this fight. But the right hand, even his timing on that shot, which you would think as the fight progresses, it would improve. It seems to have gotten worse. And he's taken some shots. Like he took an overhand left there from Dempsey McKean. That's not a good look from Filip Hrgovic. Defense is looking a bit lax. And McKean, he's giving McKean chances to get into a fight that he really shouldn't be, because I felt Dempsey McKean was looking, I said out of his depth, but certainly close to it, and the killer instinct from Hrgovic doesn't appear to be there. Yes, you're right. You know, again, like I was looking at McKean early on, and I was thinking, if this was Joshua or Fury, they'd have beaten this guy pretty handily. They'd have beaten, if Joshua was fighting him tonight, referee giving Dempsey McKean a warning there, if they're fighting him tonight, I would say that they would win pretty handily. In sparring for his Fraser Clark fight. May, send me a DM on Twitter and I'll definitely interview him. I love interviewing fighters, as you know. I'd like to know more about that. That doesn't surprise me, because Dave Allen shouldn't be anywhere near a boxing ring at all. I'd like to have an interview with this guy. Yeah, he's more than well. I'd be more than happy to if we could do that. Boxing G at Boxing G Man on Twitter. Let me know. I'm dreading that Dave Allen Fraser Clark fight. I really am. I am, and I'm going to be doing a watch along most likely for that night. That fight night. I am dreading it. I'm dreading that fight. I really am. I don't want to see a guy's brain get mashed up any more than it's already been. Good Lord. The referee needs to get in and do something about that. That's not allowed. You can't do that. Look at that. The referee needs to pull Dempsey McKean up on that. And the Hrgovic corner getting very... Look at the way he's just grabbing on and pushing him. You're not allowed to do that. He's holding to the level of Lawrence Okoli. Lawrence Okoli is worse than that, truth be told. But, shot goes in there from Hrgovic. But you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to excessively hold your opponent. There is a little bit of holding that referees will let you away with. But when it's excessive like this, big shot goes in on the bell from Filip Hrgovic. This has been a very hard fight to watch. This hasn't been easy at all. Hasn't been easy at all. Johnny Fisher in the building. I said to Hatman on the Element group, I'm terrified for his dad. There's an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet in the O2 Arena. And God knows, Johnny Fisher Sr., as Big John Fisher is eating himself to death. God knows what might happen there. I don't know. That's the honest question. He should have won this fight handily. He really should have, I'm baffled as to what he's doing in there. I really am. Because he should have won this fight handily a long time ago. 220 in the building, 92 likes. Let's get over the 100 like mark. I'm not going to ask loads in this, because I know people are like, you're asking for likes too much. It just helps the algorithms. And if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. Because I want to get to 13k as quick as I can. And then onwards to 14. Amazingly, we're in the 10th round. Amazingly, we're into the championship rounds now, lads. I have to be frank. I expected this fight to end in knockout for Hrgovic in the first half of the fight. I did not think we'd be getting into this. I'd be terrified for the restaurant owner. I'd say the restaurant owner, when he seen him coming, he said, nope, not tonight. I'd say he hired security to keep him out of there. My guy would pay 20 quid and he'd have that 20 quid recouped within an hour. Place would take a massive L on him. Absolutely eat the place dry. I wouldn't say they got rid of him fairly quick. Dempsey McKean is actually doing the more work, and again, the clinching is excessive. There's no other word I can use. It's excessive clinching in this fight. And Hrgovic again. What I will say is Alexander Usyk will not be remotely worried looking at this fight. He won't be. I think Alexander Usyk will be thinking, do you know what? If I don't get Tyson Fury, if he's my mandatory, okay, I'll clear him as well. Because Alexander Usyk, I think, is going to beat Daniel Dubois fairly straightforward in a fortnight's time. And if he beats him as easy as I think he will, I'd be pushing to get this fight done before the end of the year, because this guy, the way he's looking in this fight right here, he's literally just throwing one shots at a time now in here. I'd be saying, Usyk, just get the fight over with, get it done, just get it over and done with, get it done quick. He will be more up for the Alexander Usyk fight, he will. But it's a worry, mate, that this is consistently happening with him now. And this is a step up. I know McKean is no great shakes, but he is a step up. And he's still looking so laboured. I mean, even against Zhilei Zhang, like, again, I know he had circumstances outside the ring, which he's my utmost sympathy for, but the way he's looking a year later, so laboured and just, he just doesn't seem interested at all. And he's significantly better than MC McKean. MC McKean, from what I'm seeing here, I'm not impressed, and he's no great shakes at all. You know, it's absolutely bizarre. And Hrgovic, as I've said, is a fighter I rate very highly. And you know what? I wonder if Eddie Hearn must be looking at this and thinking, you know what? If I had actually just put Joshua in with him, the way he's looking tonight, Joshua might be able to fight Alexander Usyk again. Because I reckon he would have beaten Filip Hrgovic tonight, based upon what I'm seeing in here. Really not too impressed with what I'm seeing from Filip Hrgovic at all. As we come to the end of the 10th round, 10 seconds left in round number 10. And Dempsey McKean actually opens up a little bit on Filip Hrgovic. Filip Hrgovic takes it, and then he lands a little grazing shot again to end the round. He seems to end these rounds by landing the last shot. At least he's taken a little something for the judges to say, okay. Now, he is winning this fight, Filip Hrgovic, there's no question there. But as I said, I'm a bit disappointed in what I've been seeing so far. I have to say now, I am a bit disappointed in what I'm seeing so far. Oh, wow. Conor McGregor is in the building. Yes. That's an achievement. I mean, I don't know. He's not looking as out. He's not looking as bad as he did at the Taylor card. Yeah, mate, you'd rather watch me talk about it. To be honest with you, man, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I like talking about these fights. I like doing this, and listen, right, when Sky are not good at all at commentary either, so I'm happy to talk over it and have it muted and help you guys out, you know? As Nick said there, Nick said it, not me. Nick said it, not me. Hrgovic no better than Hughie Fury. On his day, I would think Hrgovic is better than Hughie Fury. I mean, what the hell has happened to him? We haven't heard from him in, what, nearly 2 years? Jesus, we haven't heard from him in a long time, Hughie Fury. There's a blast from the past. Is that vodka? Water. H2O, man. H2O. That's all it is. H2O. No vodka. Hell no. Jesus, no. H2O is all we have. I mean, both guys look absolutely tired after only 4 rounds. I'm surprised they've got this far and are still actually fighting at a decent pace. But both guys' heads nearly came together there. Dempsey McKean is probably the one who's doing more now at this phase in the fight. To be honest with you, he really is. But now he's fine to take on AJ. AJ is ahead of Hughie Fury. I'll be picking AJ heavy every day of the week over Hughie Fury. I wouldn't be picking him based upon this and his last performance. And again, these are both southpaws. Very different styles, and obviously Usyk is a lot shorter and a lot faster, but I wouldn't be picking him against Alexander Usyk. No way in hell. There's just no way. I would not pick him at all over Alexander Usyk. No way. Like you said, they were watching Tommy Fury. There is entertainment at all levels. You need to remember that. When you're watching boxing, you're seeing a fight here between one guy who should be world level. He is number 1 ranked by the IBF, and you're another guy who's kind of fringe world level. The styles haven't gelled, and it's just not a good fight. You could get a Tommy Fury against someone like Jake Paul again, and you'll have a decent enough scrap. Because both guys are not going anywhere, but that doesn't mean you can't have a good fight. You know, you go and watch two novices have their first amateur fight, and you will see shots thrown everywhere. It's funny. But again, I mean, there's absolutely, this is very worrying stuff from Filip Hrgovic from what I'm seeing here. Needs a fine for this performance. Yeah, he's really not done him. And you know what I would say for Dempsey McKean? Even in defeat, you can come out and you could give such a good account of yourself that you get more paydays off the back of that. A performance like this may not do Dempsey McKean any favours whatsoever, endearing himself to promoters for future fights. Because if you want your prospect or a contender to fight this guy, you're thinking, am I going to do it as the top of a bill or a main event or something as we go into the 12th round, and it's like this? That's just not a good look, in my opinion. It just, for me, it's like, no, that's just not a good look. He's not going to put butts in seats, for want of a better word. So we see Robert Helenius warming up the main event. Robert Helenius versus Anthony Joshua. It's going to be interesting. Oh, don't get me wrong. I expect Joshua to win this fight very easy. Very straightforward. As we see his records, his last fight was actually a knockout, so the zone got it wrong there. They have his last fight down as a UD. It was a knockout, Wilder KO, 2 wins over Adam Kalnacki. Yep, correct. But see that Mika Melmo, he knocked him out or stopped him in 3 rounds. It wasn't a UD, so the zone got their stats wrong there. Just nitpicking, minor nitpick. And that was last week as well. Oh, wait. Dempsey McKean coming out thrown. It's going to be interesting to hear what the scorecards are like for this fight. Because I haven't been scoring. I've just been attempting to watch it and see how it goes. I haven't really been scoring it. You have to have Filip Hrgovic in a commanding lead. Although he's not really done much these last few rounds now, it has to be said. I'll probably switch the volume up a little bit on the TV for the scorecards so we just kind of get an idea of what it is. But I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing from Filip Hrgovic. I'm not going to lie. It's really been a poor performance. Really. Oh, but there you go. You land the right hand. Come on, you hurt him. You've hurt him. Yeah, Filip Hrgovic hurt him. Dempsey McKean is hurt. He's tired. And the referee, is he waving it off? No, he's giving him a count. Oh, he's waving. Oh, it stopped. Oh. Well, just wow. Okay. That was not a good stoppage at all. Yes, the referee, the ropes were holding him up, give him a count, but no, that was a horrendous stoppage. They should not have stopped that fight. They should have at least let it carry on. No way. Not good enough. I still think he hadn't been down. He hadn't been beaten up. At least let him see where we're at. I don't think that was a good stoppage at all. I think they should have let that carry on. Personally. We'll have another look at it here, right? So, let's see. Big right hand. That was a big right hand. And that definitely hurt him, and then followed up by another right hand. Sags into the ropes. So he's definitely buzzed at this point, right? So yeah, he's definitely buzzed. The referee is administering a count. The ropes did keep him up. Legs are a little bit rubbery. No, I don't think you should have stopped that. I think you should have at least just looked into his eyes, had a quick glance and said, right, let's see. Albeit if Hrgovic comes out and starts opening up, maybe then jump in, but I would have let him carry on there. I don't think that was a right stoppage. Certainly, yes, the ropes definitely kept him up, so I have no issue with him calling that a knockdown, but I think you should have let that carry on a little bit longer. No, definitely should have let it carry on. Let's see. Legs are a little bit shaky. Hasn't been down, though. And waves it off. No. I would at least let it, or make an attempt to let that carry on a little bit longer. So, Is that PFL? The MMA thing that Jake Paul is part of or has shares in. PFL playoffs. That's on the zone now. Boom, 270 in the building. Wonder if we're going to get record numbers in this tonight. I wonder if we're going to get record numbers. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. We're up to 12,208. Boom. The last few weeks, we've been on good numbers. We've been on real good numbers. So we've been getting 100 subs a week. So the goal is to keep that going. 100 subs a week, that's 5,000 subs per year if we can keep that up. Not saying that's necessarily going to happen, but Filip Hrgovic gets the win 16-0. I can't imagine Alexander Usyk is going to be losing much sleep over that. It does mean now that we get to go hopefully straight into Chisora versus, because what time is it now actually? Yeah, it's 9:45. So they had hoped that the main event would be on at 10 o'clock. It won't be. I'm hoping that they rush this a little bit. So let's hope. The fella has a weird hobby. Second beats channel in the game. You mean second best? I don't know if it was a good or a bad stoppage. I'm going with bad stoppage personally. I think you should have let him at least try, at least see, for me. So no, I don't like that stoppage. Just for me, in my opinion, I didn't like that stoppage. We see Joshua. He's getting his hands ready. Let's see. It's going to be interesting. I'm expecting him to win this fight comfortably. I'm expecting to win this fight reasonably comfortably, but you never know. 10 rounds of heavyweight is next. Derek Chisora versus Gerald Washington. Now, this should be a more entertaining fight. Both guys have seen better days. They're over the hill. Keeps changing his name and spamming the chat. Which one, mate? Because I'm not really looking at the the chat. If you could, is it this guy? Hang on, I'll just pop this guy. Time out for a little bit. Let's see how that goes. Because I don't like the spam chat either. It's annoying because it's like, please stop spamming the chat. You just time them out for a little bit. Fair stoppage, some people are thinking. Final prediction for Chisora versus Washington. I'm going to go with Chisora to win, probably by stoppage. Depends on what Chisora we get. You know, sometimes Chisora can go in there and he can do it like that, or it can be dragged on. He doesn't have the stamina he used to, but Washington is really, Washington really is no great shakes. So Chisora should win. If it was prime Chisora, I'd say he'd win in a couple of rounds. So how good was Hrgovic in his up-and-coming? To me, he looked impressive. He looked a lot faster. He looked a lot more powerful. He was a bit leaner. So I was impressed with him. But lately, I've not really been impressed with all. I hope he does, mate. I hope this is kind of a go out with a win. Go out with a win, and that's it. That's it. Now, I hope that's how he does it. I really do. Combined age of 80 should be in a 6-rounder. Yeah, they are actually combined age of 80. That's mad. When you think about it like that, it is quite insane. Combined age of 80. Holy mother of Jesus, that's crazy, man. Combined age of 80. That is crazy, actually, when you think about it. And they're doing a 10-rounder. Shout out to Base. How are you, mate? What's up? Can't stay because too many channels I like are doing watch along, so not watching any. Just here to smash the like before you leave. I appreciate that, man. Understandably so, man. I hope you're good, man. Yeah, I know a lot of people. We all tend to do the watch alongs for these fights, so I understand. I understand that. Popping by to smash the like, man. I appreciate it. I see a few of the guys are doing lives tonight, doing watch alongs. Why not? Why not? The more the merrier. I think that it's a great little concept to do these watch alongs. Sometimes it's difficult, like when you're a bit under the weather, like feeling sick or something. And then especially the morning fights. Jesus, those American fights, they are hard to do because of the time. but it's a great little alternative because for me, it's like you're basically, this must be kind of what it was like when it was just radio, no TV. You can listen to me or Boxing Wave or someone else talk about it, albeit you can watch it, but if you don't want to listen to the commentary, you can listen to us speak if you're in the same kind of frequency and time wise. It's great. You know, if you don't like the commentary, you're like, right, I can watch the fight on my TV, but I have G-Man or Waves or whoever doing the commentary. There you go. It's brilliant. I love it. I do like these. I do enjoy doing them. They are good fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this main event. So with 2 fights down left to go. 2 fights left. London City, dark in London in the O2. I've never been. Actually, no, I've been around it, but I've never been in the main like place in it. So that's the next place on the list. That's the next place on the list. You know, I can't wait to get over there full time. I really can't. Hopefully soon. Hopefully in the next, say, 6 months. 6 months is the goal, to be over there, settled in, and then, you know, let's get to as many events as we can. As many as we can. I'm not limiting it to just London. Obviously, we're trying to get up the north to Manchester and places like that, as well as London. But London has the most kind of small hall shows and any type of show, because I don't really care whether it's a big show or a small hall show. I'll just cover it. I like the press conferences though. I love going to the press conferences. They're good. They're just nice to be there, and like you get to see the boxers, you get to chat with them, and just mental. Like Frank Warren tends to do a lot of the press conferences up in Wembley, which is miles out. Well, it's not miles, but like if you're in Stratford, you're talking, that's a long ass train ride. That ain't easy. 20 odd stops on a train on the Jubilee. Sonny Edwards there ringside. Sonny Edwards has one of the biggest baby faces you'll ever see. Like he literally looks, in the way he sat there, like he's just like in school. He really does. But Sonny Edwards is a very good pundit. That's one thing about Sonny Edwards that's underrated. Very good pundit. Very good pundit. For all his flaws, he's a very good pundit. He understands the sport of boxing. He really does. When he was on BT, when the Zone have had him on as commentating and giving his, you know, analysts on fight, he's really good. He really does understand it. He really does know. Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards. Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards, December 16th, lads. There it is. Holy S. Oh boy, that is going to be good. In December. Just before Christmas, lads. That's going to be good. That's going to be a fun fight. Edwards, is it? I have it muted because obviously I'm doing it. Whereabouts is it? I'm assuming it's in the States. I'm assuming it is in the States, but I've got Bam Rodriguez. I think Jesse Rodriguez is going to win that fight. I really do. But I love it. 2 undefeated fighters, young, in their primes, having a unification. Although, is Jesse Rodriguez? Yeah, he is. Oh, man, I can't wait. I can't wait for that fight. I think that's going to be brilliant. It's going to be brilliant. I'm favouring Jesse Rodriguez, though, to win that fight. 100%. Arizona and Phoenix. Okay. Phoenix, Arizona. Never been. I've been to the States. But I'm going to look forward to that one. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a real, real good one. Wait a minute. Phoenix and Vegas. Which one is it? Which one is it, lads? Don't be telling me it's in one and then the other. Because Vegas, well, they're not that far apart. Wasn't impressed with either of the last 2. Fury will be licking his lips at the prospect of finding one of these next. McKean or Hergovich, both domestic level, if you ask me. Yeah, they definitely weren't impressive at all. I can't wait, lads. I can't wait for that. It's going to be great. Adam moved to Ireland in 2015 and really missed the UK for the sport and defence and property. Moved to Mayo a couple of years back, and it is much more like the Yorkshire countryside than Dublin is to any of the UK. I've only been to Mayo once, like when I was a kid. Like, yeah, like I've lived, you know me, I've lived my whole life here, so I'd rather go and see what the UK has to offer. I like the UK. Chisora with the Grants, they're getting ready to go to ringside. Okay, I'm hoping this ain't going to be a long one. Because the sooner they get this done, the sooner we can get into the main event. And depending on what happens post-fight, we're going to do an aftermath stream. We may do it immediately after the fight, depending on what happens, or we may do it tomorrow. It all really depends on how it goes, to be honest with you. I mean, if Joshua loses, good Lord, straight into the aftermath stream. I'll go from 12,000 to 13 like that if he takes an L. He definitely ain't taking an L. I seriously doubt he's taking an L. I'd be amazed if he takes an L. I really would be. That really would stun me. It really would. I wasn't really scoring it, mate. From what I was watching, it was like Hrgovic was winning, but meh. The Sonny dressed himself. What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, he looked like he was coming out of school, that guy. Like non-uniform day in school. But Sonny knows boxing, to be fair. Grant Smith is a very good boxer. A very good trainer. He has a very good boxing mind. An extremely good boxing mind. So he'll have a good look at Bam Rodriguez and he'll do a good plan. I think Grant Smith is one of those trainers who doesn't get enough praise. I think he's fantastic. A big up to Matt. Hey, G-Man. Hey, mate. How are you? G-Man beats Hrgovic. I certainly don't beat Hrgovic. He beat the living crap out of me. I was never even close to heavyweight anyway. God damn. He would beat the living crap out of me. You want to see me get killed, man? I'm not even close to heavyweight now. Not even near heavyweight. Probably barely even light heavyweight. Probably not even light heavyweight. Campbell went the distance with a very poor fighter tonight. I fear he will. Where was that? I fear he will suffer a bad KO when he steps up. He was getting hit a lot. I seen that. I've never really rated Campbell Hatton. I watched the full 8 rounds. I wasn't impressed at all. On my DAZN, they are showing Taylor in New York. What the F? They're definitely not showing that on mine. I've got commercials on mine. They definitely ain't showing Katie Taylor in New York. They're just showing some commercials now on mine, and I'm watching it on the DAZN app. So it's not like I'm watching a stream and it's dodgy or it's showing me something different. I'm literally watching it on DAZN, and I ain't seeing they're showing a Philip Razor ad now and a movie called None. As I've seen that ad about 3 or 4 times now. That's a good question. I think because they're taught from very early on the amateur style, they're taught to just score, and they're just good at doing that. They're good at learning that amateur style. The problem is, I've been around amateur gyms in Ireland enough to know that they drive that amateur style into you. Like, that amateur style is taught into you, and you dare deviate from that amateur style. You even attempt to even remotely try and do anything that's like pro, punch hard, anything like that, they will. Some places would even probably kick you out of the gym. They really are very, like, they're so pushy about the amateur style. They just have it absolutely ingratiated into the fighters. So when Irish fighters turn pro, they're lost because that amateur style ain't going to work. It just ain't going to work in the pro games. And then they're trying to, and they've never been shown anything else. So they're trying to learn new. They're basically like a duck out of water, or fish out of water, I should say, because they don't know what to do. And then the fact is as well, a lot of them stay amateur way too long. A lot of them peak in the amateurs, and then they turn pro. They don't know what to do. They're jaded because they've had too many fights in the amateurs. They've probably taken batterings and sparring as well. And here we go. That's why we have no good Irish fighters, and the Irish fighters we do have, because I know a few, not personally, but I know of a few of them, are garbage. Many of them aren't even in shape. And they're not even heavyweights. They have to cut weight, and they're fighting. You see them weigh in, and you're like, you have so much water still in your body. What the hell are you doing? That's what I'm like. What's my prediction? Between rounds 3 and 6. As quick as this fight ends, they'll get the card in the way. So I would say, what time are we at? I'd say between 10:30 and 11:15, they'll get the main event going. Even the G-Man, and thanks for the live. Helenius knocks. No. I'm not. I don't see it. I thought that would happen to him, and it flipping did. I knew as soon as I seen him turn over, I was like, he's knackered, he's jaded. It's his own, like, I understand why he wanted to win a gold medal in 3 Olympics, but he was jaded by the time he turned pro, and he only knew the amateur style. He had no clue what he was doing in the pro games. And that happens to a lot of them, unfortunately. You know, for me, it's like you do something good in the amateurs in Ireland, make hay while the sun shines, turn pro. Stop waiting around. What are you waiting around for? Because a lot of them stagnate and then they can't improve on their pro career. And then it's too late for them to turn pro. It's just like, mate, just turn pro and get it over with. If you have to go on the small hall stage, you have to go on the small hall stage. Just do it. It's better that than turn over and be like, yeah, now I've got a pro deal, and you lose your third fight because you're absolutely over the hill already. Whereas at least, right, I might not have the best deal, but it'll do, and I can work my way up. Better that than just turn pro when you're jaded, because then it's just like, well, how good was he? You know, I've seen that happen to loads of them. And if there was any Irish fighter that I was looking after, say an advisory role or anything like that, I would say if you can do it, if it's financially viable, base yourself in the UK. Don't stay in Ireland. Base yourself in the UK, 100%, because you'd be lucky to get 3 shows in Ireland that you fight on. You're going to be fighting in the UK a lot more. Base yourself over there, and the trainers over there are good. Washington doesn't have the heart. Just looking at him, you can see. Washington's never shown much heart in his career. He's never shown the will to fight, and when he's fought pressure fighters, especially, he's faded very quickly. I don't expect much from Gerald Washington, really. What's McGregor doing? What's going on? They're on about McGregor. What's he doing? Are you looking for a seat with Hearn or something, or what's going on? What's going on with McGregor there? Just look weird. But yeah, Conor McGregor again, I don't know why Eddie Hearn has McGregor over, but yeah. Thoughts on Fisher? Looks like an accident waiting to happen. Yeah, I don't. Johnny Fisher I never rated too highly, and Moses Atelma, who's only 18, I'm way more like, he looks the business. He really does. Your DAZN's not working. I'm assuming that's a German last name. I'm assuming. Mine's working fine. Absolutely perfect. In fact, actually, it's working out a treat. I mean, it's lovely and clear. I've seen a few people on Twitter saying that the DAZN stream was lagging. I literally, touch wood because I'll jinx myself, but it's perfect. It looks absolutely spot on my end. What the hell's going on with the DAZN tonight? Look, as I said, it's perfect for me. Yeah, what was he doing? That just looked weird. That just looked bizarre. I don't know. Just, okay. Whatever McGregor was doing, I don't really care. Yeah, he did his stout. Conor McGregor has stout now. I haven't tried it. I don't really drink stout. I don't really drink at all. Like, I haven't drank in nearly 2 months now. And if I do, I don't seldom drink stout. I'd have to really be in the mood to drink stout. And that's very rare. Derek Chisora on his way to the ring. I wonder, is he using Eagles? Because he didn't do it for the Fury, but he normally uses Eagles, Hotel California, going to the ring. I can't hear. Just sub to the DAZN tonight. But it doesn't work at all, bro. So I'm here. Thanks for covering the fight. Oh, appreciate it. That's weird, man. That's very weird. I don't know. Like, as I said, the DAZN on my TV is working absolutely perfect. And I'm not using, and this is a complaint I have with the DAZN. They said that you know the way they have that station. They said if you sign up for it, or if you have the DAZN, you pay in your subscription fee, you put your viewing card number in, you get it on Sky. I still haven't got it yet, and I done it ages ago. So I'm just using the app, because the app's built into the TV as well. It's the Toshiba, but it works just as fine. It's more of a, I just worry a bit more about using the app because it's off the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is good here, but with Sky, it's not off the Wi-Fi, so you don't have to worry about it. He's using Hotel California. called. He always uses that. I love that song. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. The head grew heavy, my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. Chisora probably stoppage in the 4th or 5th round. But yeah, no. Who goes further, Hatton or Fisher? Probably Fisher, but not much further. I wasn't the one who bought the curtains, and everyone says that everyone doesn't like the curtains. I wasn't the one who bought them. I'm just saying, I wasn't the one who bought them, and I don't particularly like them myself. I'd like to see him retire after. I'd like to see him get the win and then call it a day. That's what I'm hoping he does. Let's see how he does. I hope he calls it a day after this. I really do. I really hope that that's just. It's been nice boxing. Thank you for everything. I will see you in the future, whenever that may be. I'm hoping he does that rather than stick around. I really do. Oh, he's bringing his family to the ring. His daughters. I'd say that to me indicates that that's probably his. That's probably for me. It's like he's bringing the family to the ring. His 2 little girls and his wife. That's the curtain call. I think that's what I reckon. I reckon they're there because it's like, right, this is it. Be with me. You've seen me from the get go, and now it's like this is it. Del Boy. And we like Del Boy, and we don't want to see him. We don't want to see him be in a real bad way in a few years. So I hope he wins. Hope he calls it. I think he will. I think that he probably knows deep down this is it for him, and he's going to give it his all. I hope he wins. I really do. I like Del. I like Del Boy. War Chisora. He's giving me a lot of good memories. And he's with his daughters and his missus. I'd say this is probably it. It does, doesn't it? It looks like he knows deep down this is it. This is the last time. I hope it is. I hope he goes out with a win. I really do. He brought his family to the Poulet fight as well. I wonder if he had intended to call it at the Poulet fight. And obviously the Fury fight was just... I mean, at the end of the day, you could be set for life. Larry Holmes is a good example, because Larry Holmes, in several interviews, he said that he was happily retired, and then Don King knocked on his door and said, I'll give you a couple of million to fight Mike Tyson. And he said, yeah, I'm not retired anymore, because the money was there. And I think it's like, you could be saying, right, I'm happy to roll off into the sunset, and someone says, do you want 4 million? It's like, well, you know, I mean, 4 million is 4 million. I'm not just hypothetically saying that that's how much he made, but you're like, 4 million is 4 million. Better in my pocket than someone else's. And I'd say that's what happened. I hope to God that it's a case of, right, see you later. It's been good boxing. This is it. This is 100% it. I ain't going to get any more massive paydays like that. Let's see you later. Don't give up the boxing commentary for the singing. Yeah, no, I ain't no singer. Boxing commentary is more my thing. The interviewing and the commentary and the punditry is more my thing, man. I ain't no singer. But I like Hotel California by the Eagles. It's probably the only song from the Eagles I actually know. And I like it. Steve Gray, Marcus McDonald, and Bob Williams judging the fight. Why do some boxers dip in and out of the ring ropes? I have no idea. Just, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I really don't. I know lots of boxers do it, but I genuinely couldn't tell you. Lee Every. We're seeing new names in terms of referees and stuff like that now. We've seen another new referee today. So hopefully the old guard are going, which they need to. Because a lot of these guys have been around for God knows how long. What we at now in the thing? 292 in the building. Boom, look at that. And 240 likes. Let's try and get it. If you could, lads, smash the like button. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. There's bound to be a few of you guys in the building who've not subscribed. Come on, yeah. I sang a few bars from Hotel California. You can at least give a sub for that. Yeah, if your boy out, get to 13k. Looks so passive, disinterested. He normally tends to look like that, to be fair, though. It wouldn't surprise me if he wilts pretty quickly in this fight. If Chisora really puts it on him, it wouldn't surprise me if he just kind of wilts and says, that canvas looks nice. He's not, I wouldn't say he's as bad as Eric Molina or someone like that who really just has like no heart to speak of. But He's not great, to say the least. From Finchley in London. War Chisora. That's it. Let's go. It's co-main. This co-main. After the last fight we had, we're due a good fight. We're due a good fight. And Chisora all dressed in pink. The last time he fought was in North London, Tottenham Hotspur. He's now in North Greenwich at the O2, which is a lot further south, although it's not that far south, but it's south enough. Mate, cheers for doing the watch along. Much appreciated. Man, I love doing this. I do. I love doing them for the big fights. It's good fun. It's good fun. I'd rather be doing these and like having the commentary muted and talking to you guys and watching it and reacting than just sitting on my own, literally just watching and listening. I'd rather be doing that. So, Boat Box. Washington looks in not bad shape, to be fair. Doesn't look in bad shape at all. I hope he signs off in style. Let's go. Let's see how this goes, lads. First bell should be ringing any second now. So, Chisora versus Washington. Will this be the send-off Chisora wants? Will he end up with a knockout? We shall find out now. Chisora already on the front foot. Washington looking to box at range, looking to establish his jab. He is primarily a long-range boxer, as Gerald Washington. Chisora, not really much of that. Chisora in his prime was seek and destroy. He will throw shots left, right, and centre. He will look to get in under your shots and land big, hard shots. But at this stage in his career, he doesn't have that same engine in him. He looks to fight at his pace. He looks to dictate the pace in these fights. And someone like Gerald Washington, who likes to just box at range, pick up points, that could cause problems. However, Gerald Washington, 5 losses in his career. He's been down several times. He's been stopped in his last 2 fights. Whenever someone applies pressure, he tends to wilt very quickly. And Chisora, not a massive puncher, but he hits hard enough. And Gerald Washington has been down several times in his career. So Chisora looking to jab his way in. Height difference and reach advantage would be in the favour of Gerald Washington. Chisora just looking to get in, just looking to get in under the shots, looking to time that jab and looking to land his own shots. Fight scheduled for 10 rounds. Gerald Washington looking to keep it at range. Many people feel as though he should have been the opponent tonight for Anthony Joshua. Instead, he finds himself in with Derek Chisora. A win here, who knows what that might do for the career of Gerald Washington. He might yet get one last big payday. Referee warns both guys about the head. Chisora looking a bit laboured in there now, I have to say. Not really finding his groove yet, but lets a few shots off there to the body of Gerald Washington. That might be crucial. Another shot to the body goes in from Chisora. Backs there of Gerald Washington up against the ropes. Gerald Washington looking to hold. Often in his career, there's been times where he's wiltered. He really has wiltered when people have put it on him. He does not like it at all. Against Gerald Miller back in 2017, apart from the 8th round, he had no success in that fight. And he fell apart very quickly. He looked hurt from a right hand from Derek Chisora there. Legs staggered a little bit from Gerald Washington. I think Chisora sensed that. Backed him up again the ropes. Chisora, though, not the fighter he once was, not the engine he once had, walks into a jab there from Gerald Washington. Wants to be very careful about that. Chisora, yeah, he can take it, but how much can he take it now at this stage in his career? Loops a right hand into the body of Gerald Washington. Washington looks on as if to say, look, I'm keeping you at range. Walks into a left hook there and is backed up again the ropes. But retaliates and fires back. Fireworks already in the first round as we see Tony Bellew shouting on at ringside, as he often does when it's one of his mates. Why do you not do that when it's someone else or any other fighter? And aren't you meant to be impartial? Oh, some big shots going from Derek Chisora. I wonder how Gerald Washington is feeling after this first round. Is he happy in there or is he struggling? As I said, this is a guy who normally, when pressure is applied, he tends to wilt fairly quickly. Misses with a shot there on Derek Chisora, and the round ends one in the bank there for Derek Chisora. Interesting first round. There we go. People were saying like spam stills going on in the chat. I don't know why people do that. So far, that first round had more action than the whole 12 rounds of Herkovich versus McKeon, which is a damning indictment on that fight. That's not really good that this fight, the first round, had more action. But not a really punishing round for Chisora. He definitely had the better of it. Wasn't fought at a frantic pace, but can Chisora even maintain that pace? We shall see. As we're not sitting down in between rounds, round 2 is about to get underway. And round 2 is underway. Let's have a look-see. So, looking again to establish the jab, but really struggling to keep Derek Chisora off bay. Never been the biggest puncher as Gerald Washington. And that's a big problem when you're fighting pressure fighters like Derek Chisora. If you can't hurt them or deter them, they're going to be all over you like White is to Rice. And it's been one of the big problems of Gerald Washington's career. Although he's a good boxer, although he's athletic, he struggles to have that concussive power. If you can't keep these guys off a heavyweight, you are going to want to have some serious speed, some serious boxing ability, or some serious strength. And he has neither of them. His physical strength has been questioned a few times. His heart certainly has been questioned. And yes, he's athletic, but he's not the most athletic heavyweight you'd see. Many people would say his crowning moment or the highlight of his career was the few rounds he had against Deontay Wilder, where he was outboxing Wilder and he was winning that fight up until he got caught. Lands a right hand there on Derek Chisora. Jordan needs to be careful with that. Head movement is normally better from Derek Chisora, but again, he's backing Gerald Washington up again the ropes. Washington looking a little bit uncomfy in there. Maybe struggling a little bit with and referee giving a warning to Derek Chisora. What's up here? The head's coming together. Looks like the heads maybe have come together. Chisora, is that blood? Can't really see. It does look that way, but can't really clearly see. Jab lands from Gerald Washington. The last thing Chisora needs is more head trauma or a cut or something like that. But Washington moving around the ring quite well, to be fair. And catching Chisora coming in. Chisora wants to be careful. He doesn't need to be taking these shots. He took enough off Tyson Fury. He wants to be a very, very careful guy coming in. The head movement just isn't there like it used to be for Derek Chisora. He used to be able to slip those shots and get underneath them. Wants to be very careful. Uppercut comes in there from Gerald Washington. This is a much better round for Washington in this second round. Just keeping Chisora at bay, using his long-range boxing, using his height, using his reach to good effect. Chisora falling short with a lot of shots. Looking to bang the body of Gerald Washington. But Washington doing a good job tucking up with his defense there. And again, looks to be rather in control. Seems to be able to find these shots. That cut looks bad. A lot of blood flowing down into the eye and into the face of Derek Chisora. Looks like he's been in a war and all that's happened is a headbutt. And again, remember, if this fight is stopped before 4 rounds has been completed and it's ruled on an accidental clash of heads, the fight will be declared a draw. We only have a completed fight when we have 4 full completed rounds of boxing, at which point we can have a technical decision. And with the way that fight is going and the way that cut's looking, that may very well be something that we have to think about. And if you're Derek Chisora and you think a technical decision could be possible, you're going to want to win these rounds, because that's when it's crucial. If both guys clinch and Chisora lands a right hand up close, referee warns both guys about the heads again. You will have that when a pressure fighter is looking to duck in and come in. You will have that issue where heads can clash. Chisora just misses with an overhand right. That could spell trouble for Washington if it landed. Washington looking to keep jabbing, but walked. Oh, down goes Chisora. Was that a punch or was it a push? Referee rules it a push. I'll have to have a look at that replay because that looked... I'll have to have a look because some shots did go in, but it did look more like a punch. We'll have to have a replay of that, but that was definitely a round for Gerald Washington. Cut now for Derek Chisora. Let's see how they get to work on that. Doesn't look as bad as I initially thought it might be. But let's see if they show a replay of that trip, is what we'll call it, what the referee ruled it. It looked more like a shoulder, but we need to have a look-see on the replay. Do we have VAR in for this fight? But the referee seems to have ruled. Okay, let's have a look-see. So, Chisora, there's the head clash. Yeah, definitely a head clash. 100% there. But I'd like to see, and they haven't shown it, I would have liked to have seen the Chisora getting dropped or falling down. The referee ruled it a slip, but it did look like some shots went in from Washington. Chisora coming out swinging now this round with his jab. Gerald Washington back on his bike looking to counter, but Chisora really aggressive in this round, looking a lot more like he's in fire mode. Look like he's trying to get the fire shots off, the power shots. Chisora throwing more, but he's only landed 3 shots more in terms of power shots. 41 power shots thrown to 10 landed to 21 from Gerald Washington to 7 landed. So Chisora Chisora doesn't really use, he's not as jab heavy nowadays as he used to be. He was never really the biggest jabber, but sometimes you could use that to walk your way in. He's not really doing that now. So don't expect to see many jabs from Derek Chisora. He tends to look to just loop the shots in and get under your shots and throw his big power shots to the head and to the body. He's been trying to slow Gerald Washington down with body shots as he is here in this clinch by letting some body shots go, hoping to sap that strength from Gerald Washington. Washington pushing back, pushing Chisora back up again the ropes. And I appreciate the £2, man. I appreciate that very much. Every little bit helps. Thank you so much. I'll just get that off screen. Chisora again. Back in Chisora, or back in Gerald Washington. Up again the ropes. This is interesting. Washington had a good second round, but seems to be just struggling to find his little range in this round. He was doing a good job of just moving around the ring and keeping Chisora off last round. But now, looking to see. Had a chance to counter there, didn't take it. Could have easily countered Chisora there, but ends up walking away with it, getting the body shot landed on him. And Chisora back in Washington up again. Washington clinches. 1:20 to go in the third round. Better round this by Derek Chisora. Really letting the hands go now. And Chisora looping right, but it misses. Goes over the head of Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington may have that shot scouted. Chisora's going to want to try and set that up, but his set-up game has been pretty much non-existent over the last few years. One would wonder, if this was the Chisora of 2018, 2019, this fight may very well have already been over. But instead, he's breathing a little bit heavy by the looks of things in there and still looking to try and get up close and get in on top of Gerald Washington. Better round this from Chisora. Washington hasn't done much. Has done very little in this round. Is he taking a rest? Is he just trying to pick the right time? Is he thinking that if he takes a rest, then Chisora punches himself out? Because Chisora, over the last few years, right hand goes in by Derek Chisora. Gerald Washington takes it okay. Body shot goes in from Chisora. Washington moving, but the movement is very crude now. I wonder, is he feeling this? Gets a shot in on Derek Chisora, to be fair. Chisora misses with a left hook. He is looking tired, and Gerald Washington pushes him back again. Chisora missing very wildly with these shots. When that happens, and you're missing wildly and you're throwing shots, it can amplify the shot coming back from the opponent if you get caught as the third round comes to an end. Very interesting so far. And again, this fight has been better than the Hrgovic fight, certainly, to say the least. 340 in the building. Again, if you haven't already, hit the like button, please. If you join my commentary and you want to see more, hit the like button. Hit subscribe as well. Surely some of you haven't been subbed yet. So if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. I love seeing my numbers go up. And thank you. Good commentary. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Quick sip of water. So Derek Chisora, the cut doesn't look as bad as I originally thought it would. And Jeff, thank you for the £4. I appreciate that. As I said, every little bit helps. I think we're up to about £15 for this stream. So there you go. It's something. £15 for just talking about boxing. I can't complain. That's brilliant. I'm delighted with that. And Nico is like 188. Man, big up. Because I'm locked out, can anyone help? You're probably best to go on your laptop and do it. Go into your settings and manage account. Normally you can kind of maybe do it that way, but you have to do it on the laptop because the phone won't let you. So here we are, round number 4. Chisora with the head movement. Actually moving his head for the first time in this fight. Gerald Washington looking to establish the jab, but can't. Chisora, very smart, moving him back with head movement. Now, if you've ever noticed, veteran pressure fighters who've been around the game and know, like a Kiko Martinez, there are ways you can pressure your opponent and make them work for it. You see Kiko Martinez do that to great effect in some of his fights, that he's able to go and pressure his opponent into working harder than they need to while he's not using strength. Derek Chisora seems to be doing this now at this point to Gerald Washington because he is using strength. Jab to the body from Chisora, put Gerald Washington off balance, who is starting to breathe with his mouth open, but lands a right hand on Derek Chisora. I think Chisora might have felt that. Both guys into a clinch. And again, Gerald Washington has questionable heart, questionable punch resistance. At this point in his career, how much is left? The question has to be asked about Derek Chisora as well. This could very well be the last fight of his career. We're into round number 4. And all I'll say is, win or lose, please let this be the last fight. of the illustrious career and very wealthy career of Derek Chisora, one of the richest men to never win a world title. The man has made an absolute living from boxing. But Chisora, looking a bit unsteady on his feet. I would suspect that's more fatigue, though, starting to set in. Chisora, in many of his recent fights, has been taking breaks in between rounds. Has been actually letting his opponents tee off on him on the ropes, him looking for the chance to counter. He done that several times against Kubrat Pulev and landed some big right hands along the way. He done it against Joe Park, but walked into an uppercut there from Gerald Washington. Wanted to be careful. Left hook lands from Gerald Washington. Big shots going in from both guys. Derek Chisora, again, if he wants to win this fight, he needs to be careful. That doesn't look good for the judges. Tony Bellew up out of his seat. Chisora swinging, missing. And this all expends a lot of energy. If you're the guy throwing these shots and you're missing, it's going to take a lot of energy. And someone saying Chisora is taking a lot of risks. He certainly is. He certainly is taking a lot of risks against someone like a Gerald Washington, who, again, isn't the biggest puncher in the world. But if you're tired and you're swinging as well, these shots could take effect. The shots that hurt you the most are the ones you don't see coming. Both guys in a clinch. 30 seconds to go here in the fourth round. Even enough so far, but this is a round that I would say is going to Gerald Washington. Seems to have landed a bit more. Lands on top again of Chisora's head with a jab. Counter jab off the ropes. Both guys in the clinch with 10 seconds to go here. The fourth round. We're almost coming into the halfway point as the round ends. Interesting. Very interesting work from both guys. Very, very interesting work from both guys. It's a strange one. It's a strange one. This is definitely not both guys' best moments, to say the least. But it's a compelling viewing. Malik Scott in the corner. Obviously, former opponent of Deontay Wilder, current trainer of Deontay Wilder, as is Gerald Washington. And let's have a look-see. Yeah, right hand lands by Gerald Washington, and Chisora felt it. Short punch, but at this weight, heavyweights, a short shot like that, you do tend to feel it. But Chisora landing some good body shots on Gerald Washington as well. I wonder how much effect that's going to be taking on him. If this is an epilogue to Chisora's career, it's going to be a hell of an epilogue. Has Chisora left, hopefully enough that he can live okay for the rest of his life. As round 5 gets underway. Be interesting to know how people have a true 5. I would say it's probably fair to have a 2 apiece. Maybe some would have Washington ahead, but I would say probably fair from what I've seen to have a 2 apiece. And both guys, again, in a clinch. Chisora looking to land some shots, but not really able to do much there. And looking tired. Misses with the jab. He's been told to take it easy on Dell. Possibly. You wouldn't know. I would say he wants to get a win because he obviously wants to say, I should have been in there with Anthony Joshua, not Derek Chisora. And one would wonder, based upon the performance he's doing in there, Chisora lands a left hook, but doesn't really do. Can't really follow up with it. Again, pushes Gerald Washington back up again the ropes. But no real offense coming from Derek Chisora. Not able to do it sustainably anyway. And not able to land clean. Washington doing a good job of blocking these shots. Doing a very good job blocking these shots, actually. And looking to land his own. Can't score these shots if they're not landing. And the shots coming back from Gerald Washington are in fact landing. A jab just grazes the face of Gerald Washington. He retaliates with a right hand to Chisora. Chisora landing a few body shots up close. Looking to hold Gerald Washington again. Looking to maul him up close. As the referee breaks the 2 fighters. Chisora again dipping down low. But he can be timed by doing that. Right hand does go in from Chisora there. Gerald Washington holds. Didn't land the cleanest. But it landed clean enough. Clean enough for Washington to, I think, just take notice. Again, 1:15 to go in this round. Both guys starting to maybe feel the pace of this. Certainly in Chisora's face, it looks like he is. I might watch under the Zone app. I am indeed watching this fight under the Zone app. So I'm getting it fairly close to as live as I can. Right hand goes in and just hits top of the head of Derek Chisora from Gerald Washington. Both guys fight off the ropes. Not really many shots going, but you have a free hand, you're allowed to use it as the referee breaks them up. Again, another swing and a miss with a right hand from Derek Chisora. Not landing. Very inaccurate. Timing seems very off as the referee is breaking up both guys yet again and warning them about the clinch and saying, if you've got a free arm, use it. That's how inside boxing goes. Washington, not known for his inside fighting ability, certainly not. Chisora, on the other hand, uppercut lands by Gerald Washington. Chisora retaliates, lands a big right hand and a left hook that just backs Gerald Washington up a little bit. Does Chisora feel as though he's got him going a little bit here in this round? 25 seconds to go. And Chisora just maybe feeling like he's got a little bit of success. Certainly winning this round for my liking. Misses with a body shot, hits a left hook, grazes. Oh, and a good little jab there, just pushes Gerald Washington back. So some more eye-catching shots coming from Chisora again in this round. This round is definitely going the way of the London fighter, and he misses again with a right hand, but it looks good for Chisora in this round. Definitely better. Great commentary, by the way. We will buy the new curtains. We will buy the new curtains. We will. Give me 2 secs there, lads. I just want to pop for 1 sec. Apologies there, lads. I am just... Apologies about that. Just getting this back on track. Had to just swap something over there real quick. So, we're into round number 6 here. And let me just make sure that we can hear me. You can just hear that okay. Make sure that that's all good. Chisora is still, from what I can see here, fighting out the rotation. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. King of Rip Curtains, mate. So we're here in the 6th round. And again, it's more the same from what I've been seeing so far from Derek Chisora. Let me just make sure that this is okay. Let's pop that. All good, sounds good. Yeah, I had to swap over iPhones because I don't want to be using headphones or anything like that. I want to keep it like this. So I just swapped the one that was on charge for this one. So I had to just do a little shimmy around. It was easy enough. We were good. We were good. But the 6th round, Chisora, I think, is coming more into this because Washington, I'm almost, from what I'm seeing here, it looks as though he's kind of made his last stand. I don't want to say made his last stand necessarily, but he seems more disinterested now than he did. Or maybe it's Chisora's coming on because he landed right hands, back down to the body. Those body shots are adding up, and he does look uncomfy in there as Gerald Washington with those body shots. Nick Pickdell in round number 8. Well, round number 8 is swiftly approaching. I can see this going another round anyway, but Washington seems to be slowing down. Those body shots, and Chisora is finding the body of Gerald Washington a lot more frequently than he used to. Another body shot goes in from there, Chisora. That's tiring someone like Gerald Washington. He is in his 40s now as Gerald Washington. You got to remember that right hand goes in by Derek Chisora. He is really improving. He's warming into this fight a lot more now. For someone like Gerald Washington, as I said, who is 40, who relies on his feet a lot, to be taking this many body shots, it's not good for someone who relies on their footwork. Certainly not. So Gerald Washington definitely feeling the pace now. Has to be. Chisora is setting a good pace. And yes, he's looking tired, but he's not looking as tired as I've seen him in the past. Round 6 swiftly comes to an end. I'm just going to pour some more water know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like? It sounds like I'm doing something, but I'm not. Just pouring my water. I still can't believe they're doing catch reversal and Ares. That's what they're advertising here. I still can't believe they're doing that fight. I really can't. Baffles me. That just makes no sense for Jack Catterall. Why don't you just target a world title fight instead of him? Because like that to me just makes no sense. But AO. Yep, great commentary. I appreciate it. 350. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. If you're new, I'm hoping. I wonder how many we'll get when the main event comes, because with watch-alongs, the viewers tend to gradually increase the more the watch-along goes. So I think this is the most I've ever had in a live watch-along. And God knows, when Joshua comes on, we could be in the 400s or the 500s, who knows. But round 7 is underway. Very bad round 6 for Gerald Washington. He's really starting to feel this fight. And I think with Derek Chisora, the fact that he feels he has Gerald Washington going will ultimately help drive him a little bit. Many fighters who get fatigued in fights, when big right hand from Chisora goes in there. Washington took it well, but another right hand goes in. When a fighter is a little bit tired in the fight, but he feels he gets his opponent going, it does often give the fighter who's doing it a big, big second wind. It definitely does. Sometimes just knowing that you have that adrenaline going, that you've got your guy going hurt, can help you. And Chisora is landing the right hand at more regularity. Washington is looking a bit more unsteady in there. He's not working his jab. He's not moving as much. Chisora really starting to come into this. And I think he's taking a foothold in it. And look at the weight of the shots that Washington is coming out with. There's no power in them. He's just throwing them out. How are you going to deter someone like Derek Chisora if there's no weight to your shots? If you just throw a jab out, all you're going to do is just say, that's nice, get out of my way, boom. So Washington, looking tired. Those body shots are all going to take a toll. And Chisora, he still has those tricks. He still has those veteran moves. He knows what he's doing in there. This is a guy who's been around the block. He's been in there with a who's who in the heavyweight division. There's not something he's not seen yet. And Washington, starting to unravel a bit in there. And bear in mind, Gerald Washington has a win over Robert Helenius, who was in the main event against Anthony Joshua in the very next fight. Gerald Washington, maybe the best win of his career, holds a win over Robert Helenius. Actually, Derek Chisora has a loss against Robert Helenius, which should ultimately have been a win. It was a horrible robbery. Washington not moving but not throwing shots. Another right hand goes in by Chisora. Oh, but an uppercut just rocks Derek Chisora back a little bit. Gerald Washington, I think, picked up on that. And Chisora, back to using his jab, back to getting a bit up close. I suspect Washington will see the end of this round. There's 50 seconds to go here in the 7th round. But Chisora, maybe he threw a little bit too much Gerald Washington at the onset of this round, because he slowed down a bit. Washington's not doing an awful lot, but he's doing just enough to stay in it. And here comes the jab again, but there's no right hand to follow. And Chisora, again, looking to throw the shots. Right hand goes in by Chisora. Gerald Washington takes it well. Both guys in a clinch. Let's see, 25 seconds to go. Chisora now, I think he's starting to get to the stage where he's really starting to pick and choose these attacks. Very careful. Washington lands a couple of shots there, backed up against the ropes, and he opens up on Chisora. Chisora definitely felt those shots. Washington with a right hand. Is Washington looking to steal this round? Sometimes what you do, big right hand goes in by Gerald Washington again. Pushes Chisora back in again the ropes. Lucky the round ended there. That was interesting. That was very interesting. Mate, I appreciate that. G-Man, cheers. I'm enjoying your commentary in lieu of forking out to watch this fight. Mate, I appreciate the 10 quid. I really, really do. I'm glad you like it, man. I love doing this. I love doing the watch-alongs and commentating and all that good stuff. It means the world to us to do it. It means the world that you guys like it. I'm not wasting my time talking about this. I appreciate it. I do. Chisora, one critique I've always had about him is his tendency to slap. Now, he stopped doing that in around about 2018, but he's slapping a bit from some of the shots I'm seeing in there, which is a bit of a worry. So we go into round 8. Tony Bellew up on his feet. Nick Harmer, who's a long-time sub, has Derek Chisora to win in round 8. Nick, I'm hoping it does. I hope it comes true for you, mate. I didn't pick a round. I thought Chisora would have probably had it won by now, to be honest with you. But I wasn't picking any round betting. But Washington had a lot of success towards the end of that round, and it looks like he's trying to pick up from where he left off. But he's throwing that jab out again, lands a right hand on Chisora. The head movement wasn't exactly on point from Chisora there. And Chisora looking to set up the attack, but really struggling to find a way in. And wow, that's WWE style in there with the wrestling. Referee's going to want to have words with both guys about that. Chisora with that guard up. And again, looking to get in, but walks into an uppercut again. He does make himself an opening target for that uppercut. He squares up his shoulders a little bit too much, and he has that guard held high. Sometimes when you do that, if your opponent can spot it coming, he can land that uppercut almost at will. And again, he misses with the uppercut there as Gerald Washington, but you can see the thinking that he's doing. He's trying to get that uppercut working for him. He really, truly is, and he may have some success with it later on in this fight. If he wants to set that uppercut up, he should set it up with the jab, maybe even double jab, misses with a right hand, looking for Chisora. That could have really spelled curtains for him. That looked to have a little bit of snap on it. The power from Chisora's punches, though, it doesn't seem to be quite there. Although saying that, the stamina from Washington, judging by those jabs Chisora landed, is not there either. Both guys looking very spent. An average age of 80 in there, or combined age of 80, I should say, is in there as well. You can't imagine both guys are going to be firing on all cylinders at this stage, but Chisora lands a right hand again on Gerald Washington, who looks to clinch, who looks to push him back. He's been stopped earlier in his career as Gerald Washington as well. I believe against Gerald Miller, he went 10 rounds, but that was 6 years ago. And he's taken some more losses since then. He's been ironed out in 2 rounds by Adam Kalnacki. He's been stopped by Charles Martin. He was stopped in his previous fights. So a lot of stoppage losses have come in for Gerald Washington over the last few years. It's not been kind to sport of boxing, with the exception of that one win over Robert Helenius. Looking to reignite his career, or at least looking to get one last payday. Chisora, if this is the swan song to his career, he's looking to go out with a win. And judging by how he's looked in this fight, retirement is the only option after this, unless you want to fight another journeyman. But a body shot goes in. It's something Chisora's neglected over the last few rounds. He had success early on in this fight going to the body. And he does appear to have slowed down Gerald Washington quite a bit. But he's neglected the body. He's been headhunting a lot these last few rounds. And both guys barely able to stand, holding each other up against the ropes as the referee comes to break them, as round 8 is about to conclude. And there it is. It's going to be interesting to see how you guys have it. How do we have it after 8? 2 rounds to go. And then we're into the main event. It is currently what time now? It's 20:11. So we're looking at about 11 p.m. start for Joshua versus Helenius. I'd say 11 p.m. we'll get this fight underway. I would imagine it'll be about 11 p.m. So how do we have it? I think it's a fake fight. Interesting. You think Chisora is going to get it regardless? Derek will be killed in the ring eventually, please, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Both need to retire. I suspect if we go to the scorecards, given the fact it's in London on an Eddie Hearn show, the judges will give it to Chisora for that reason. But I think Chisora might want to go out with a knockout. Again, if this was Chisora 2018, 2019, he'd have stopped Washington by now. It ain't looking like we're going to get a stoppage, mate. It ain't looking that way. I think we've got 6 minutes of this to go. But saying that, you never know. It's heavyweight boxing. But I think we've got another 6 minutes of this fight still to go. And Chisora coming out this round, really just forcing the shots now at this stage. He's gone back to the body, but his balance looks off again there. Really swinging wildly. But again, he obviously must have listened to me, because he's going back and he's hitting the body of Gerald Washington. Because that was what he was having success with. Actually, going to the body for Chisora was helping to set up some of his other offensive moves and his offensive shots to Gerald Washington's head. He's neglected that the last few rounds and solely focused purely on head hunting. That is not, we don't need that. You need to do what was working for you. Set it up to the body and then worry about the head. He's neglected that, and I think he's let Washington back into this fight, but he's doing it now in this round. And Washington, again, struggling to really keep Chisora at bay. And the movement from Washington, you see it in his legs. He's very flat-footed now, where before he was on the balls of his toes. He's very flat-footed in this round by the looks of things, and he's really slowed down. He's really slowed down. He's not popping his shots out with any conviction or any force. He is looking to counter his Gerald Washington, but not much jabs go in by Chisora. The more just kind of cuffing jabs to the head of Gerald Washington. Right hand misses by Derek Chisora, but not much coming back from Washington. Body shot there from Chisora. Both these guys have definitely seen better days, and both these guys won't be setting the heavyweight division alight. Certainly not. However, they've had this may be lower level than our previous fight, but it's certainly given us a little bit more action. Quite a bit more action, truth be told. I've seen a lot more action than Filip Hrgović versus Dempsey McKeon. And Chisora, a minute to go in this round, really forcing the shots. Not really much there. Not really much coming from Gerald Washington either. Hard enough round to score this. A lot of the shots are being wasted by Chisora, but he is still throwing. If he has to go out, he wants to go out with a win, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's forcing a lot of this work, and he's misses with a jab there. Washington just looking to get through it. I think he's more so looking to survive at this stage as well and just see the final bell. 30 seconds to go here in round number 9. Both guys look very tired at this stage. All I'll say is I'm glad this wasn't pay-per-view. I've seen people say that. I'm quite glad it wasn't. I don't think it should have been. It's not been a bad night. It's not been a terrible fight night, to say the least. But pay-per-view, I do not think it was. Certainly not. And Chisora walks into a right hand there from Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington just comes to life. Chisora holds. Again, happening near the end of the round. It seems to me as though he's switching off quite badly come the end of each round. In another era, Chisora could very well have been world champion. He could very well. He could have. Certainly when he was in his prime and he had more energy, he was a tricky customer. A tricky customer was Del Boy. But at this stage in his career, how much does he have left? I'm going to wager a guess that not that much. Excuse me. As we check the element group to see what they think. Rob usually does own nonsense. They'll keep squaring up. He's squaring up very badly. Very badly is Del Boy. I don't understand why he's doing that. Need AJ fight. The consensus on the element group is that they're not enjoying this card at all. I'm just scrolling up here and it's like, nah, the guys in the element group don't seem to be too keen on this card. As we go, final round. Round number 10. All I will say is, I hope that when we get the next fight, which is Joshua versus Helenius, that it is they don't prolong the build-up or any of the, they won't do national anthems, I would imagine, because there's no title on the line. So hopefully it's just a quick boom in, let's go, let's see, crash, bang, wallop. I think Joshua's going to win in a couple of rounds, but God forbid we end up having to go 12 rounds. I'd be amazed. It won't happen. It won't happen. I'm guaranteeing it, that we're going to see a knockout in the next fight. 100%. Last round. 2 minutes and 20 to go here in the 10th round. Both guys look spent. Gerald Washington looking to land some big overhand rights, but none of them really landing. I think the range at this stage, the timing is completely gone for both guys. Both guys gas tank. They both look like they're running on fumes. They really do. They look absolutely spent. And personally, I hope both guys are getting well. Oh, right hand goes in there from Gerald Washington. Just took a jab from Chisora as well. Oh, big right hand from Derek Chisora goes in there. I wonder how Gerald Washington took that. Saying that, both guys look so fatigued. I can imagine that there's not much meat on these shots at this point in the fight. Chisora still looking to get in there and do some work. I've seen a lot of empty seats. Well, not a lot, but I'm seeing empty seats in that O2. Interesting. Certainly around the back row there's empty seats. Uppercut misses from Gerald Washington. Chisora looking to land a body shot, but still no real success. A lot of these shots are getting blocked by Washington. I'm switching the G-Man and between G-Man and Boxing Wave. Shout out to Boxing Wave every time. Big up. One of my favorite American channels. Big up the Boxing Wave every single time. A minute left in this fight. Again, hopefully this is a seamless, nice, quick. Whoa, big right hand misses from Chisora. Real big swing and a miss. It's interesting that Chisora hasn't tried his going onto the ropes and letting the opponent tee off looking for a counter. He's not done that at all in this fight that I've seen. We're into the last minute. Both guys look spent. They really, truly do. And I think hopefully both guys will call it a day after this. Certainly for Chisora's case, I do. And I think that as well, it'll be the case for Gerald Washington. They don't seem to have much in the tank left. This has been 10 rounds. It's been messy. It's really been a very, very messy fight, but entertaining at times as well. It's been entertaining at times as well. That's one thing you have to say. Last 10 seconds now. Both guys absolutely spent in a clinch. Washington opens up again, looking to close off the round. Land a jab on there with Chisora, maybe looking to finish this fight. Oh, and there is a hook from Chisora as the fight draws to an end. As my mic falls down, sorry about that. I have to fit the mic ever so carefully. So if there was a bit of static there, I apologize. What do we think? Who do you have? I'd be surprised if Washington gets it. Truth be told, 400 in the building. That's a first for a watch along. People, I hope you enjoy it. If you could, hit subscribe as well. Help your boy get the subscribers up, because we're doing well here tonight. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well so far. We're very happy with this fight so far. Well, we're very happy with how the watch along is going. Chisora probably does get it. I would be surprised if it goes any other way. Tony Bellew there screaming at ringside, as he often does. Thank God I have this fight muted. Thank the Lord. Thank God for that. Thank God I muted this fight, so we don't have to listen to that. I feel bad saying I don't really care who wins. I can't envision it's... Look, I can't envision either guy setting the ring alight or setting the world on fire with this, to be honest with you. I don't think anyone's going to be thinking that, but whoever wins, let's see. I'm seeing Chris Andre here on Twitter has it 6-4 to Derek Chisora. Interesting. The final round like play out. We ended the final rounds, won the early rounds. Rob Tebbush, okay. Let's have a look, see. Not a lot of people are singing the praises of this fight on Twitter either. Look, it wasn't a classic, but hey, what do you expect for two guys this far over the hill? As we see, non-title fights are usually 10 rounds, like they're saying here. Definitely a draw. Some people saying draw. I wonder what prices you would have got on this fight being a draw. Would have been interesting. I would love to know what price you get at this fight being a draw. David Diamante, let's wait and see what he has to say. He's not in the ring yet, but I will obviously turn it up a little bit so we can hear what the scorecards will be when the time comes. Is he bringing both guys to the ring? They are bringing both guys to the ring. So expect an official announcement in the next couple of seconds. Let's have a look, see. Let's have a listen. When is David Diamante is there with the decision? Turn up a little bit. Let's have a listen. Here we go. Wow. 97, 94. Chisora, I think, have that. Derek Chisora takes it. 98-93 is a very wide. Very wide. But Chisora takes the win. I don't think anyone was expecting anything otherwise. Derek Chisora has 13 losses and 23 KOs. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that, man. Listening from Australia, man, I appreciate it. Recommend it to whoever you can. Get the name out. The goal is, man, we want to get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. There's 420 in the building and at 12,226. So if you haven't, hit subscribe. The main event is next, lads. The main event is next. So I can't wait to see what kind of numbers we get in for the main event. Obviously, we'll be doing a post-fight review. So, once the fight ends, we'll talk for a little bit, then we'll do a post-fight review. I will obviously we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Now, obviously, if Joshua loses, we might go live again tonight, but I doubt very much we'll do that. I think we'll probably just call it after the main event. Derek still wants a title shot. Oh, please, no. Oh, please, tell me that is not true. I'd like for him to say, I've had my day in the sun, as Sugar Ray Leonard said, and enough's enough. He's got the win, and I think that enough is enough. I hope that's the case. I really do. Callum says AJ in 7. I don't think it's going to go that far. I really don't. I really think this is going to be a quick, easy 3, 4, 5 round kind of job. It'll go more than a round, or will it? AJ doesn't have that many first round KOs, but he hasn't had a knockout in under 6 rounds since Eric Molina back in 2016. I reckon this will be the first. I reckon AJ in 3, yeah, between 3 and 6. It won't be a long, it's not going to be a long one, but between around 3 and 6, I reckon that's how long it's going to be. I reckon that's how long it's going to be. So I don't envision a long, drawn-out affair. Certainly not. But this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how he looks. I'm glad he stayed with James. I think his name there. I'm glad he stayed with James because he was talking about going and swapping trainers again long before. He was talking about doing a different trainer for different camps. Thankfully, he's not going to do that. And he stayed with Derek James, which I think he needs to do. So let's see how he looks. As we have a little check here on the element. Hatman is saying that the cards were awful. Yeah, they were. He said he thought it might have been split decision. Nope, it was unanimous. That's what Hatman said on element. Some of the other guys too predictable, unfortunately. Is Joshua finally going to blather someone early after all the S or what, lads? I don't know. Now, we do love the Element Group. The Element Group is great. Actually, it's a bit of a weird app because it looks a bit like WhatsApp. It's not as user-friendly as a Discord, but Element is good. It does. What is the Element Group? It's Hatman's Element Group. So obviously I'm obviously in that. There's about 100 people in the Element Group altogether. So the Element Group is kind of, not boxing. It's like that. That's what it looks like. Can't really see it there, but that's the Element Group there. He'll stop Martin, or he'll stop him, might be cautious at the start. Yeah, that's what I think with the Joshua fight. And that's exactly what I'm thinking. AJ by 2, uppercut. I don't know what way it's going to go. I know it's going to go AJ knockout, but I don't know what way in terms of time-wise. I'm expecting early, but Joshua has often said that he tries to outdo Wilder. He tried to do that in the Ruiz fight because before Wilder knocked Brazil out and around. And you can come unstuck when you do that against someone, especially with the punching power of Helenius. So you never know. For the love of God, no, I don't want to see Briggs versus Chisora. Chisora would definitely beat Shannon Briggs. Will win. He'll win by knockout in a couple of rounds, definitely. Yeah, Del Boy won. He won. Unanimous decision. William Zepeda, one of the most exciting talents in the sport of boxing as well. Very exciting fighter. Throws loads of shots. Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington. They're doing a preview of all the fights that are up and coming. I like that fight. I think Lee Wood will win. Personally, I think Lee Wood will win. Chisora Prime versus Ali Prime next. Oh, good Lord. No, he'd never have beaten Muhammad Ali on his best day. I have a bad feeling about AJ tonight. I don't have that feeling. And normally when I've had feelings going into fights before and the guy has lost, I've literally no feeling going into this fight. For me, it's a clear AJ's going to win. For me, I just have AJ's going to win. He's going to win. And I felt that way. But I guess if it was Dylan White, I'd have a few more jitters. I'd be like, well. But with this, it's just AJ's going to win. I've seen Helenius enough. I know he can punch, but I know he's no great shakes. I know he's no great shakes. So for me, it's just AJ's going to win. That's how I see it. So We wait. How many Ade is there with my old pal Tony Bellew and David Hay? 77% AJ by KO, 12% Helenius by KO, 9% AJ on points, 2% Helenius on points. I'd be amazed if Helenius won on points. No way that is ever going to happen. Yeah, well, Helenius is definitely not small, nor is he fast at all. He definitely ain't small, nor is he fast. I'm just hoping they get the ring walk soon, because if you actually Google this fight and you type in UK times, it said they wanted to have the main event on at 10 o'clock. Well, it's now 11 o'clock and we're still waiting. And my sympathy, my utmost sympathy to anyone who has the zone and is listening to it now because Tony Bellew was talking. I have the utmost sympathy for anyone who has to endure that. You have my sympathy. I really feel for you. Oh, Ade is speaking now. That's better. That's much better. We can listen to Ade. We don't mind Ade. But anyone who had to listen to Bellew, you have my utmost sympathy. I feel your pain. I really do. I feel your pain. They always say 10 p.m. Yeah, they do. I think they always hope, especially, like, to be fair to Eddie Hearn, if that's what he was thinking, putting all heavyweights on the undercard normally does mean you're going to get a lot of knockouts. But we haven't really, well, we had knockouts, but they've all been late. And Chisora, there was no knockout. So I think he really did think we're going to be going on earlier than we actually thought. But evidently not. So yeah, the zone boxing, it's on. Let's hope they get the main event moving, because they're showing a lot of advertisements, loads of them. Let's just hope they get this main event moving quickly, because I want to deal with post-fight, go get some sleep, and then go gym tomorrow. That's what I want to do. On drug testing, G-Man, I've shared it a couple of times. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was I remember that situation with Ola Duradola and Marius Vac very well, because it just stunk of corruption. And when they were exonerated and the agency in that country was shown to be non-compliant and stuff like that, it was just like, well, that makes sense. So, you know, that was good. I enjoyed doing that video. I enjoyed talking about it. You know something, right? I was thinking about doing a series, like a monthly kind of series on here. They'd be edited videos. I was thinking of doing like boxing conspiracy theories and stuff like that, you know, kind of like scandals and conspiracies, just talking about like the like one at a time. Obviously, I've seen people toy with doing it, but I don't think anyone's religiously done it. So I'm thinking of maybe doing that. Because there is a few out there. I'd need a bit of jogging memories for a couple more, but I was thinking maybe of doing something like that. Soon, because I really enjoyed doing that video on Wack and Duradola, bringing up that, because a lot of people didn't know about that. A lot of people, because again, they're two fighters who you wouldn't really be paying much attention to what's happening with them, stuff like that going on. So for me, it's like, well, I'll make people aware of it, because obviously that's what happened. And Chisora won. For the people asking who won, Chisora won. We haven't got the main event yet. The main event is coming. It's a coming. It is a common. So the main event definitely coming. And 440, like crazy numbers. I'm looking forward to seeing how many this has as a whole, the live, when it's done. Because we're getting real good numbers. Like the real time views I have is up to 11,000. So there's probably at least a couple of thousand views this whole live has got, which is real good. I mean, and that's good. And again, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit subscribe. Help your boy grow. Help me get to my 13,000 then onwards, and you know yourself, onwards, 14, 15, 20. 20 would be nice. 15k would be great. 20k would be just like perfecto, as Alexander Usyk says. Perfecto. So, we should do a video on the career and life of Primo Carnera. He was bought and sold by the mob. I mean, he really was. Jesus, Primo Carnera. Primo Carnera was massive But even like if he was around today, he'd be a huge heavyweight. You can imagine in the 30s, he was like unheard of. I see McGregor made it to the fight, yeah, a clown. But Primo Carnera was massive, even by the 30 standards. So you can imagine if he was around today, what people would be saying. So it looks like we are now, hopefully, getting ready for the main event. AJ wins tonight. Oh, I think he does. AJ is definitely going to win. AJ is more in love with money than boxing. Well, yeah, simple as. I do think he's definitely after the money, but I don't think it's primarily money, but I definitely think he's after money. They're interviewing KSI. Wow. GSI, G-Man, you get in a sunroof. A sunroof. You can't get a sunroof in here. Midnight. I wouldn't, based on the performance tonight, I wouldn't be picking him against Alexander Usyk. Hell no. Fight before the bell with the Nutty Dutchman was the best fight so far. I haven't seen that fight yet, but people were telling me about that. I didn't see any of the fights on Before the Bell. Who's this interviewer they have? I've never seen her before on the Zone. I've literally never seen this girl on the thing. So I wonder who that is. Only fighters after money more than accolades. Only fighter not after money. I was like, what? Yeah, Usyk wants the accolades. He wants to be undisputed. Tyson Fury, well, we all know what's going on there. But yes, KSI being interviewed and plugging his fight with Tommy Fury. Do you know what, right? I got up for the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight. I can't get up for this fight whatsoever. This fight is just, to me, it's just like, ugh. I don't know. If you like influencer boxing and misfits and stuff like that, then that's for you. That's fine. Just for me, it's like, I'm not really bothered. So, Tommy Fury, let's just say, as many of you know, I've not really rated Tommy Fury too highly. I've only watched KSI very briefly, and he's been fighting guys who are garbage. Thing is, though, with some of these shows, I would watch it if it was a fight that, for me, was just funny. Like when Boogie fought Wings, that was just funny. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to watch that. So, yeah, KSI, definitely trying to plug his fight with Tommy Fury. That girl looks pepped up. She definitely looks like she's really getting into the swing of things there. You even see David Haye giggling there. So, yeah, oh, lads, when are they going to get this fight over the line? Or when are they going to get the ring walks for this? Because it's now, like, what time is it now? Like, it's 11:05, like, seriously. Do we want a midnight? Because I don't want to, we're already gone over 2 hours now. So much talent, I think. Only fighters, John Fury said he's made Fury and Tommy a multi-millionaire. He's made it. Okay. The old how you doing? Yeah. The old how you doing? The algorithms pick up on all those types of things. So you got to say it. But maybe he was on the old how you doing. You wouldn't know. Ben Whittaker versus Tommy Fury. Well, Ben Whittaker would absolutely annihilate Tommy Fury. I mean, he'd make absolute, Tommy Fury. That wouldn't even be competitive. Spamming again, seriously, like. Yeah, we don't want no spam. Where can I watch the fight? Well, I'm watching it on the Zone. I pay for the DAZN app. But I'm sure if you go on Twitter and you type in on the search bar Joshua versus Hrgovic or Joshua versus Helenius, the S word, you'll find one there, no problem. You'll literally find one there, no problem. So if you go on Twitter and type in search, or even if you went on like Facebook or something like that and you typed in the S word, you get one, no problem. Absolutely no problem if you did that. And I'm wondering when they're going to get these ring walks out of the way. Because it just, like, this just seems to be dragging on and on and on and on and on. It seems like the fight ended about 15, 20 minutes ago. Are you wearing ripped jeans today? Yes, I am. Yes, I am wearing ripped jeans today. Of course I'm wearing ripped jeans. When do I not? All my jeans, apart from one pair, are ripped. I do love the ripped jeans. How do you see AJ from 2017-18 versus Haye from the Chisora fight going? It's a good question. I probably favour AJ slightly, but I would give David Haye a very, very good chance in that fight. Classic ripped jeans. This is way too long to wait. It definitely is, man. It's getting. How long until you move to England? I say probably in the next 6 months. What month are we in now? We're in August. I'd like to be over by February. February at the latest. I'd like to be over, settled in a flat in London, and then we can. And obviously, the channel hopefully will be at 15K by then. So the channel is definitely doing well, and it's getting me places. It's making a nice little bit of pocket money every month. Like, it's not money you could live on, but it's not money you'd certainly not turn your nose up. Jesus Christ, no, it's certainly not money you turn your nose up at. So hopefully, if we keep on the upwards trajectory, we'll be in a very, very good place. And they are finally getting the ring walks underway. Thank God for that. So it looks like we're ready to go with the main event. The things I would give to be in Ade's position, even if I had to listen to those two, I would still do. I'd be like, the hell with that. I would give anything to be in that position. I literally would. It'd be my dream to do something in boxing journalism or media, even write anything just to like get into that. We'll buy you a pint when you get here. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I love that. I love that. I'd absolutely love that. Like, you know, I love all that. I love being at events though. Like, that's, for me, it's like, wow, you know, when I get to these events, it's just, that's why I love going to them. I love going to the press conferences and all that. Like, oh man, I love it. How much do you get a month? Well, it varies month to month, to be honest with you, mate. Like, it varies on a lot of things. So, you know, like, for example, right, I've made about, what, nearly 40 quid just from this live alone, from super chats. When you add in monetization, you're probably going to be up to about 45, thereabouts. Per month, it can vary. As I said, it varies. So on a really good month, like the best month I've ever had on YouTube, I won't tell you the exact amount, but it wasn't far off $1,000, right? It wasn't far off $1,000. Wasn't far off that. And that was this year. And other months, like June wasn't a busy month, and it made okay money, but it didn't make crazy. Well, like, it was, you wouldn't turn your nose up to it, but it wasn't as much as, like, last month was very good. This month the shape will be very good. So some months are better than others. It depends. January is normally a quiet month. You don't tend to make as much with monetization in January because you make a lot in December because of ad revenue is bigger because it's Christmas. So it depends. But yeah, the most I ever made was this year, and it was not far off $1,000. Not far off $1,000. Now, it wasn't like I was off by 50, 60. It was more than that, but it wasn't. I remember thinking to myself, if I'd done an extra 5 or 6 videos, I might have hit it. But, or if I'd done a stream and, you know, yourself, stuff like that. But that's nice. Like, it's nice to see that hit your account every month. And you know, for just talking boxing, it's crazy. And I guess kind of because as the channel's grown every month, the income has grown, which it has. So if we keep on an upwards trajectory, hopefully at some point I can turn around and say, right, I can go part-time, or I can just do something on the side and, you know, do a bit of money here and there and, you know, stuff like that, because I know the channel is going to support me as well, which the channel is supporting me, like it is. Obviously, but you can't live on X amount of money a month, and you can't like rely on every month hitting that amount, because some months, as I said, are busier than others. And thank you, Nick. I really greatly appreciate the 10 quid. Support the channel however you can. At least smash the like button. Even smashing the like button, the reason why I ask for it is for the simple reason it helps boost the channel in the algorithms. So it boosts the subscriber count, it boosts everything. So that's why it's really important. You have to do the tax yourself, but I haven't made enough from YouTube to do that yet, if that makes sense. So in Ireland, the threshold is I think it's over 10 grand, and I've not made that in a year from YouTube yet, so I don't have to worry about that. I think, if believe me, like, I pay for the thumbnails and I pay for some of the equipment, so you can write all that off. I keep the receipts of all that anyway. So every thumbnail I paid for, I have a receipt for. And it's 50 quid a week I pay for thumbnails. for unlimited thumbnails. So I get as many as I want, 50 quid a week. And I get them like that. Like literally, I get them in literally, sometimes I get them in minutes if I ask. Sometimes at the longest I'd ever have to wait is like 40 minutes. It's great. How you think someone like Yalalov or Makhmadov would do against Fury? It's hard to say. I mean, Yalalov, I mean, his left hand is, it's you know what. And Maria Richardson with the £1. Look, I'll take that, Matt. Thank you. Or sorry, I was like, Matt. I'll take that though. I mean, at £1, every little bit helps. I appreciate that greatly. I don't understand these who spam the streams. Like, it's like mental. Like, why would you spam the stream? But thank you for the £1 again. I appreciate that. It's greatly appreciated. That all adds up. Like, so I think the stream was up to about like 50 quid for tonight, which is really good. Really happy with that. Coming out to the Godfather team. He's got the violin playing. The violin. Why, I do not know. But he has a violin playing. 270 likes. Can we get 300? I wonder if we can get 300 for this stream. Be crazy if we did. If we got 300 for this stream. Be nice. Be real nice if we did. So we're up to 270 likes. So, 30 likes. Hopefully he isn't sleeping with these fishes. No. Makhmadov versus Sanchez. That's a good fight. I'd probably favor Sanchez, to be honest with you. I probably would favor Sanchez. I wonder why he's using those Leon gloves. They are used a lot in Europe. I've never worn a pair, so I don't know exactly what they feel like, but they look very big. They look very heavily padded. And Joshua normally wears Rival. I think he wore, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he wear Fly last time out? I wonder why he's using Leon gloves now. That's interesting. Very interesting. Fly gloves for me are my preference of a glove. I love Fly gloves. Fly gloves are the best. And there you go. Nick says it. Everyone take a second to like. It's 430 in the building. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Because we've already got like nearly 40 subscribers from this stream, which is pretty damn good. 12,234. I started with 12,200. There you go. So we keep hitting the subscribe button. We keep pushing it on. I've been doing 100 subs a week for the last month. It's been great. The growth has just been, I'm going to coast 12k, hopefully, if that's the case. We coast through 12k, onto the 13, coast that, onto the 14, and then boom, into the 15s. 15, because then its next stop is 20. He always looks a wee bit nervous, does Joshua. I get the impression he is just a nervous character. And Dr. Reaper, thank you very much. This card has been way less entertaining than it looked on paper. Yeah, it hasn't been great now, I have to say. It hasn't been a great card. I'm glad they took it off pay-per-view. I'm glad they did take it off pay-per-view. But Joshua in the ring now. Let's see, usually, blah, 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 blah. I'm just checking elements here. Fateless, is that who he's using to? Is he using Fateless Insomniac? Or Insomnia? I wonder if he's using that song to come out to the ring to. That's an interesting choice if he has. Fateless Insomnia. If it's Dak with Insomniac, take an original tap. I don't know what song he's using. But David Diamante making the announcements up to 300 likes. Keep going. Is it actually 300 likes now, is it? Seriously? Boom. Look at that. There we go. 300 likes. That's mad. Boom. Look at that. The channel is going good. So both guys got to get announcements. I can't see this fight lasting very long. I'll be frank. I can't see this lasting very long. I'm going to go for round 3. Wouldn't shock me now if it's over and around. It really wouldn't. Helenius is a massive puncher, but that's all he is. He hasn't got a particularly good chin. He's been knocked out a couple of times. And I just don't see him doing much. I just don't see it. I think Joshua needs to make a statement, and I think it's going to help him. I think it's going to help him big time. I'd say round three or so. He's way too upright. He's no good with a jab. He's no good with anything. I think Joshua's going to win this fight Very easy. Very easy. And again, thank you. Is that Australia? For the £4 or $4.49, mate. Again, much appreciated. That's all I can say. I thank you for everything. I appreciate that, Martin Healy. That's an Irish name. That's definitely an Irish name. Healy. That's definitely an Irish name. Is it an Irish man in Oz? It's got to be an Irish man in Oz. 100%. 100%. Derek James would have been focusing a lot on Spence, and I say he was focusing a lot on Charlo as well. So how much has he really given to Joshua? Probably not as much, but saying that they train at different times. So he's focusing on that. David Diamante doing his fight it starts now. I've met David Diamante. I went to a boxing show with him back in April. He's so nice. Me, Ade, Ak and Barack, we all went to the Eubank fight, the Harlem Eubank fight in the York Hall back in April. And I met David Diamante prior to that. Spoke to me, had a lot of time for me. Really, really nice guy. Really nice guy is David Diamante. Had a lot of time for me. So I always appreciated that, because I was always like, all right. You know, he was happy to see me, shaking my hand, chatting with me. You're from Dublin. I'm like, yeah, I am. And I was like, that's mad. I was like, that's crazy. You speak with us. So I always appreciate that. And Barry Jones as well I got introduced to Barry Jones. I met loads that night. That was one of the best nights I've ever had. Just being at the boxing with all those guys and being introduced to all these Calla Sauerland and people. That was crazy. I had a great night. I still have the ticket in my bedroom. So we got ringside. We were ringside for that. It was mental. Matty Harris fought in the undercard. Then he got knocked out in his last fight. Just depends on how long Joshua wants. Yeah. 25-3. You forget it's only 20. He's not even 30 fights in. Seems like he's been around forever. This is going to be interesting, lads. And of course, I will be doing the commentary. Of course. Don't worry. I will be doing the commentary. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to do the commentary for this fight and see how we go. See how Joshua does. As I said, I suspect he'll win this fight reasonably. Yeah, Barry Jones is a G. He really is. I have a lot of time for Barry Jones prior, and meeting him, he was super friendly, real cordial. I've spoken with him on Twitter a few times, so he knows about the channel and stuff, but to meet him in person was really, really great, really nice. How can people not get that AJ's career was over? This is a nothing fight, and then he loses to Wilder. I don't know. I mean, I'll be picking Wilder, definitely, but let's see how he gets on in this fight. Joshua Helenius. It's going to be good. I love a good heavyweight scrap. Not much of a height difference between either. Let's see. I reckon this is going to be over pretty damn soon, lads. But Helenius, let's see. They're in the ring, mate. They're in the ring. The first bell is about to come. And let's go. Joshua versus Helenius. Helenius, very upright. Joshua is an upright foot, but Helenius landed the jab early and looks to actually go and make work on Joshua early. Very interesting. That's the first shot. Joshua took it well. Doesn't look too deterred. Just keeping his shape. Looks to land a shot of his own. But Helenius, one of the things against Deontay Wilder, he made a big mistake, was he was too aggressive and he ended up getting caught. Now, against Deontay Wilder, you can't do that. Against Anthony Joshua, likewise, you can't do that, because Joshua looks to land the right hand there. Helenius definitely took it. Joshua's a good counter puncher. He can hit you and hurt you with either hand. Joshua is not the Wilder puncher. Very few fighters in the history of boxing have been a Wilder puncher, but he can still hit hard enough. Now, Helenius, as I said, a very stiff fighter. Looking to establish the jab. Balance looked a bit off there for Robert Helenius. He needs to be improving on that, because you get dropped very easy doing that, even if you're not necessarily hurt, because your balance is off. And if Joshua punched at your chest, he might even just send you over, because your balance was so far off. But cagey start from Anthony Joshua. I think he's just looking to establish any kind of rhythm. Helenius is the one using the jab, but the jab from Joshua, even though Helenius is using it more, Joshua's jab is more consistent straight off the bat by the looks of it. I wonder, is Joshua worried about the power coming back? Left hook misses there by Joshua. Wasn't really set up very well. The footwork of Helenius looks very awkward, to say the least. To say the least, that looks awkward. But Helenius, for all his flaws, he can punch, and he lands a shot there in Anthony Joshua. Joshua needs to be careful. But Joshua can definitely knock Robert Helenius out. And Joshua, I think, is just looking to take his time. I think he's looking to counter punch. I think he's looking to play the boxer puncher and just looking for Helenius to make a mistake. Helenius is already making a mistake. Right hand goes in there from Anthony Joshua. Helenius just backs up. He's already making mistakes in there. So with Joshua, as he said before, he looks to do kind of similar to what Deontay Wilder does. He's got 59 seconds to do that. He's not really landed much. Right hand to the body goes in there from Helenius. So Joshua, very cagey start from Joshua in this round. He's not done much, but anytime Joshua can land the right hand or a left hook or an uppercut, and this could end. And Robert Helenius, just looking at him here, look how upright he is. He is extremely upright, extremely stiff and upright. That's just asking for trouble to be that upright against someone like Joshua. Joshua himself is a very stiff, clunky, robotic type of fighter, but he looks like Pernell Whitaker in terms of movement and in terms of athleticism compared to Robert Helenius. He really does. Cagey from Joshua this first round. No real big shots have landed. In terms of who's landed more, Helenius has done more in this first round, and it looks to me as though he's going to get through it. And it does look like, and he does get through it by all accounts. The bell should ring any second now, and it does. So Helenius gets through the first round. Joshua didn't really do much in that first round. You probably have to give that round to Robert Helenius, to be honest with you, because he didn't really do much. So Helenius against Anthony Joshua has already lasted longer than he did against Deontay Wilder, and he's not completely knocked out cold. Very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Joshua is looking to play the counter puncher. I think he's looking for Helenius to make a mistake and looking for him to walk into something. But I wonder if Joshua, because Helenius landed the first jab of the fight and immediately went on the attack. Joshua, he held it together okay, but interesting. Interesting. And it would be a Helenius round. I don't think anyone can make any bones about that. Let's see what the guys on Element have to say about that. Very interesting first round. Very intriguing first round. Joshua there in the corner with Derek James as we get ready for the second round. But again, I'm not expecting this to last long. Here we go, round two. Joshua, a little bit more bounce, a little bit more spring in the step now this second round, and starting straight off the bat with his jab. Helenius looking to use his jab as well. As I said, Helenius landed and threw more jabs. Excuse me, but Joshua's jab, a lot more consistent. Although Helenius letting the shots go, so he's not deterred yet. And Helenius, to his credit, although he's been stopped a few times, he's never really normally that deterred from throwing the shots. But he just can't seem to take them. And Joshua lands a jab to the head, lands a jab to the body, letting his hands go a little bit more now in this second round. Maybe he's looking to just be a little bit more aggressive. Was probably told by Derek James, you lost that round because you got outworked. And look what you have in front of you. You've got a guy whose footwork is basic, to say the least, whose balance is not quite there, and is extremely upright. A good shot from Joshua could end this. And look, he looks to land the left hook. It just grazes Robert Helenius' chin. He moves around. So Joshua, very interesting. He's looking to get those shots off. Looking for the right time. Good jab there from Anthony Joshua. And he just takes a little step back, moves down, take a step back. Jab to the body from Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius has a devastating right hand, though. A devastating right hand that Joshua's going to want to watch out for. Robert Helenius misses it there, but it could land at any time. It's not as quick as Deontay Wilder's, nowhere near. Probably not as powerful, but it's still a very powerful shot for Robert Helenius. Joshua needs to hold that right hand up high and be very careful about it. Make sure that guard is there and you're ready to move at a second's notice. But Joshua, again, just looking to keep boxing. I think he's looking to play counter-puncher in there. Helenius not really doing much else, but a good jab there. Snaps the head back of Anthony Joshua. And Joshua retaliates with his own jab, not letting any big right-hand shots go as of yet. Looking for the openings. Right hand goes in there from Anthony Joshua. Robert Helenius holds. Tentative would be the word I'd use for Anthony Joshua. Just patient and tentative. Pawing with the jab. Not really much coming, but he's already let a right hand go. And taking a few jabs there, to be fair, off Robert Helenius. You don't want to be doing that against someone like Helenius, who is very heavy-handed. And he outworked Joshua in the first round. He certainly did that. Joshua, again, right hand, or jab is more consistent, certainly, than Helenius. Helenius is popping it out. But he's looking to land these hard shots on Anthony Joshua. He's definitely coming into this fight with definitely a lot more spring in his step as well. But just You can see the flaws in Helenius' game when you look at him, just the way he's standing in the ring from every aspect, the stance, everything. And Joshua, I think, is just taking his time, just going through the motions. Obviously, he's wary because he knows that Helenius can punch as well. And he knows that he has been down, puts Helenius off balance there, lands a little shot to the body there, and Helenius was just off balance. You can see that, misses with the left hook to Robert Helenius. Not even close to Joshua as the second round now comes to an end. Very tentative from Anthony Joshua in this fight. Extremely tentative, it has to be said. Extremely. And I wonder why. No, I know why. Helenius is a very, very big puncher. It's fair to say, but it's certainly very tentative from Joshua. Very, very tentative. It's far from granite. I don't think it's as bad. It's not an Amir Khan shin, but it's definitely not iron. 526 record for Alive. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. If you haven't, and if you haven't, hit the like as well. If you could, please, I'd really appreciate that. I hope you are all enjoying the commentary. 316 likes. Boom. We're doing well tonight, lads. We're doing very, 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 very well. And yeah, if you haven't already, please consider hitting subscribe. Help your boy out. Help your boy out. Some people have Helenius up in round 2 as we get ready. Why are we showing an ad? There we go. We go into the 3rd round. The zone just deciding to show random ad there before the 3rd round starts. Interesting. I feel this might be the round Joshua does it. Some people were saying they felt this is the round Joshua does it. Judges have a 2-0 AJ. Well, the first round you have to give to Helenius. AJ did nothing. He did absolutely zilch. And straight off the bat, you can see Joshua is a bit more aggressive now in this round. He's been slowly building into it in terms of aggression. First round, he didn't do anything. Second round, he did a little bit more. Straight off the bat, he's looking more aggressive. He's looking to establish his jab. Helenius, having to see that jab coming out. Joshua's throwing out a lot more. Building it up. Building up. He's got the better jab. You can see that from the eye test alone. Helenius is there. It's powerful, but it's not as consistent as Joshua's. And he takes a good jab there, does Robert Helenius, on the side of the chin. Joshua's going to want to throw the right hand in. Left hook lands by Anthony Joshua. I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be hooking this early in a fight off the jab. I would be just looking to do the old 1-2, look to land it to Helenius, maybe throw it to his chest to bring the guard down, and then follow up with the right hand. He's been caught with the right hand before by Deontay Wilder. Joshua, there you go. Good right hand to the body by Anthony Joshua. Joshua's taken some right hands or some jabs off Robert Helenius already in this fight. So if the eye is swelling, that doesn't surprise me. Helenius is a very heavy-handed fighter. It does look like there's a bit of swelling there from the angle I'm seeing it. And again, I'd be very surprised if we go rounds in this fight. If we go a lot of rounds, I'd be very surprised. I think we're in the kind of zone now where we will see Joshua start to step on the gas and break Robert Helenius down, although it's not been punishing for him yet. It's been very tentative. He's obviously wary about the power Helenius has, of which he does. One would wonder, if this was Dylan White, how would he be? Misses with a left hook there. That could have spelled trouble for Robert Helenius if it had landed a little bit cleaner. And Robert Helenius lands a body shot to Anthony Joshua, which is something that people need to do. It's a weakness Joshua has. His waist is actually quite slim. If people land body shots, you will have success. Big jab goes in from Anthony Joshua, and a very good snappy jab as well. Very good jab. But yeah, there is a bit of swelling around the eye of Anthony Joshua. And the public are booing, are they? Are they actually booing? Wow. Right hand goes in by Anthony Joshua. Helenius staggers. Joshua, does he hear the boo? And does he think, right, you want to boo? All right, I'm going to give you something to cheer about. Really having to think. You can see it in his face, though. And when Joshua thinks, he tends to overthink. You can see just the concentration in Joshua's face. You don't want to drop concentration, but you don't want to be overthinking your way through a fight as well. Helenius' chest is reddening a little bit up there as well. Some people saying, boom. Are they ahead of me in the stream? Has Joshua already landed it? 12 seconds to go now here in the round. Another jab lands in from Anthony Joshua. Good shot. But it looks like we may very well get into the 4th round as well. And we more than likely will, because nothing has landed. Interesting. Interesting fight. It's not been a barn burner, to say the least. It's been interesting to watch, certainly, but it's definitely not been the most compelling viewing, to say the least. It's been fun commenting, though. It's been fun to commentate on. Oh, but I'm getting so stiff. I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours. My legs are so tired. They're so tired now, lying in this position. 550 in the building. If you could, lads, like the video. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. I appreciate it if you hit subscribe. Be nice, you know. See the numbers go up. Let's see. The right hand did go in from Helenius. He did back up. Took it well, though. To his credit, took it well. It didn't land clean. It definitely grazed them. And here we go. Round number 4. Now, some people have Helenius ahead. Some might have Joshua ahead. The first round, certainly no question, Robert Helenius. Second round, either way. Third round, I would have given that round to Anthony Joshua. But let's see how we go in the fourth round right here. We don't miss the rounds going by, don't we not? And Joshua, as I said, he's slowly building into this fight. He's slowly getting a little bit more aggressive as time goes on. He's landed a double jab there now. The second jab didn't land. Throwing the jab a little more. Jab to Helenius' body. That chest is starting to red up on Robert Helenius. You see the difference in footwork. Joshua's position and his footwork. They are a little bit wide, but it's a lot more cleaner and a lot more consistent than Robert Helenius'. He looks very off balance, very upright as well, which is something that Joshua should be able to exploit if he, as he does there, throws a shot to the... Oh, big right hand goes in from Anthony Joshua. Helenius felt that. Helenius immediately holds. I think Joshua's going to get up. I think he's going to start to let more of these shots go. He can land that right hand. He can land that right hand on Robert Helenius, so he should be doing it. And what will Helenius do? Will he just decide to go for broke and look to try and land some shots at Anthony Joshua? Because he's not going to be able to outbox Anthony Joshua, I don't think, at long range for the whole majority of this fight. And the judges are all in. They ain't going to do many favours. So is Helenius going to look and decide, you know what, I'm going to go for miss with the left hook there as Anthony Joshua. I want to be careful with that. Could be open to a counter from Robert Helenius as well. With the way Joshua's guard down, what I'd be saying to Helenius to do is to jab and then throw a looping right. You'll get round that guard of Anthony Joshua's quite easy. He's going to want to be able to he's going to want to tighten that up definitely because it looks quite weak. Loop that right hand, you might have a bit of success. Joshua buying some of these feints though. Body shot goes in there from Helenius. But a big right hand lands by Joshua. It hurt Helenius, but he's still not really doing anything. Not really doing much else. Jab goes in from Helenius. Joshua's taking a few too many of them, but retaliates with his own. That eye is swollen a little bit from the jabs that Helenius has been hitting Joshua with. Very interesting fight. Misses with the right hand does Anthony Joshua. Another right hand goes in, misses. Joshua in center ring and both guys, the battle of the jabs there. I'm surprised how much success Helenius is having with his jab. That surprised me. Now Joshua was having a lot of success with his. It's the more consistent of the two. It's setting up a lot of Joshua's offense, but as is the case with Helenius, it's doing a lot for him, and it's hurting, well, not hurting Joshua, but it's definitely damaging the eye of Joshua because it does seem to be swelling a little bit more as this fight is going on. Can't judge AJ on this. He'll catch up to him. He will, but I think from a fan's point of view, I don't know how they're going to view this fight at all. But Joshua doing well. Doing well enough. But, shots go in there from Helenius. A body shot lands as well. And those body shots will take effect. Joshua doesn't like it to the body. We've seen him have trouble with them in the past. And another round goes a-begging. Interesting. I'm going to be interested to see how the guys on Element have it. That's what I'm really interested to see. Someone says Bellew was so pro-AJ. Yeah, we know. Oh, that right hand, did it actually? No, it didn't land as clean as I thought it did. Yeah, Bellew is very pro-AJ. We know that. I mean, if you don't know that, well, now you know. He's pro-AJ. Someone says he bets they wish that they did pick Gerald Washington. It would have been over by now. 3-1 AJ. Can you sync time? Depends. Like, I'm fairly close to the live with the zone, so obviously this is, for me, it's as live as you're gonna get. So they're talking to Helenius in the corner. 600 in the building. Holy damn, lads! There's 600 of you lovely people in the building. There's bound to be some of you that ain't subbed. Please hit subscribe. Help your boy out. Round 5 is underway. We are 2 minutes and 50 seconds of round number 5. It's been a surprising fight so far. Surprising to some extent, anyway. I'm surprised how successful Helenius has had in this fight. Now, Joshua's winning, in my opinion, but Helenius has had his moments. Has definitely had his moments in this fight. Jab the like. I think it's a tentative performance by Joshua, a very tentative. Is he aware maybe that, what would I say, that is he too aware? Is he hyper focusing on the punching power of Helenius? And again, right hand misses there. Helenius has that right hand fairly well touted, but Joshua looking to throw a few more and definitely getting a lot more aggressive now. Certainly getting a lot more aggressive now. He's spoken, Joshua, in the past, especially after the Jermaine Franklin fight where he went the distance, that he said, look, he's a boxer, he's a puncher, but I think he needs a knockout. I do think he needs to get this knockout. I really do. And Helenius, big jab from Joshua, is there to be knocked out. He's been down. I think in all of his losses, he's always been knocked out, except for the Dylan White loss, where he really went safety first. Right hand goes in by Helenius. Joshua looked like he felt that. Just backs up a touch, but Joshua's still moving, still taking a dodge of some of them shots, but the jabs are still going in from Robert Helenius. Joshua wants to be careful. Left hook goes in from Helenius. Just wants to be very careful. Jab. No head movement, Joshua. No head movement there. You don't need to be taking jabs so easy like that. Move your head or hold your guard up. You know, especially little jabs like that as he lands his own. I think he's bloodied the nose up of Robert Helenius. Misses with a body shot, does Anthony Joshua. Look to throw a big right hand to the body. Again, Helenius blocking these shots into a clinch. We're a minute left to go in round number 5. And again, the critique of Joshua with the jab from Helenius. And again, it lands again there. It's landed a little bit too much for my liking if you're an Anthony Joshua fan. I would be saying you're lucky you're not in there with someone who has a very good and consistent. Helenius, big jab there from Helenius again. See Joshua's head snap back momentarily. This is actually a decent round by Helenius. You might even say right hand goes in. You might even give this round to Helenius so far. It's not been bad. It's certainly not been bad. It's very intriguing. Whoa. I think that was more balance from Helenius there though. 20 seconds to go here in the 5th round. And another jab from Helenius goes in. Again, not much being done by either man now at this stage in the fight. At the end of the 5th round, again, Joshua misses with the right hand. Can't seem to quite get it. Can't seem to kind of find the sweet spot for that right hand. And he misses Helenius with a few jabs to end the round. Very interesting. Some people saying Joshua needs to avoid Deontay Wilder. Well, Wilder definitely did a much, much more destructive and impressive job. Much more destructive and impressive. Very interesting fight. It's compelling viewing. I would have given that round to Helenius personally. I thought he did enough. Is Joshua done? AJ doesn't have his feet are not amazing, to say the least. Or Joshua's, I don't think they're that slow. I think they're fine, but in terms of speed. But, well, they do say footwork and speed, and your feet is the first thing to go. I'm not saying that's the case, but I don't think he's got slow feet. I've seen slow foot fighters, and Joshua, that jab from Helenius is good. It's very good. A very good jab. Jesus, I got a fright there. I seen Helenius with his arms up like that and Joshua on his stool. I was like, what? I got a fright. I was like, they're pulling him out? No, they're not. I did get a fright there, I have to say. I was like, what? So 6 rounds starts. And again, a lot of jabs being thrown by both guys. Now, I thought in 6 rounds, Joshua would have this fight ended. And maybe he's looking to do that because he's definitely thrown a lot of shots now so far at the start of this round number 6. Well, Helenius is game and he's live. Joshua's still a work in progress. He is. That's one time, I will agree with Tony Bellew. He is still a work in progress. There's no need to rush him. And if you rush him in there against someone like Deontay Wilder and he gets iced by Deontay Wilder, which I think more than likely will happen, that could really be the end of him. Maybe it turns plan to cash him out against Deontay Wilder. Maybe he doesn't feel as though Joshua can cut at world level anymore and cash him out in Saudi Arabia with Deontay Wilder for a big payday. Maybe that's what he decides to do. I don't know. But based upon this performance, and he's lucky that right hand didn't land, I'd be making Wilder favourite personally. Because a lot of shots, too many shots from Helenius are going in here. Way too many shots from my liking are being landed by Robert Helenius here. Way too many. And he's having success in this round as Robert Helenius. He really is actually not boxing too bad. Has to be said, it really isn't boxing too bad. The jab is good from Robert Helenius. It's very surprising for me to watch this. It really is. I'm you know, I'm shocked almost in a way with what I'm seeing from Joshua, how tentative he's being at times in this fight, and how easy with the jab Robert Helenius is landing. This is a guy who, even in his prime, was never that good. This is a guy who Chisora, he didn't get the decision, but he beat him up, did Derek Chisora, and I'm very surprised by what I'm seeing in here from Joshua. I have to say, I'm very surprised, stunned almost. Very, very surprised. And Helenius, you could argue, is getting the better of this fight now, because Joshua, although he looks to land the right hand there, he's walking into jabs, and Helenius is a very heavy-handed fighter, very heavy-handed. But at the same time, how good is Helenius' stamina? He was only in an 8-rounder. It wasn't like he was coming off back of a 12-round contest or anything like that, or he had a scheduled 12-rounder. He was only in. It looked like there's a cut below the eye there, Joshua, as well. That's what it looks like to me. And how will Joshua's power hold up, you have to remember, the later this fight goes. It's not been fought at a murderous pace now, it has to be said. Certainly hasn't been that, but a lot of success by Robert Helenius, definitely. Definitely. Very interesting fight. Very interesting watch. It's round 6 ends, so we're into the second half of the fight, lads. I wasn't expecting to say that, certainly not. Lads, we're at 12,254 subscribers. Could we do 100 subscribers? Could we get to 12,300 in this watch along? There's nearly 600 of you in the building. If you haven't already hit subscribe, please do hit subscribe. If we can get that up, if we were 46 subs off 12,300, let's do that, 100 subs in a day. Could we? Sure we could. Easy work. I'd love to do that before the end of the night. There's over 600 of you in the building now. Let's do it. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, please. And smash that like button. Absolutely jab it. Hit it with a like and hit it with a right cross. Thinks AJ is mentally shot. Could be right there. We're into round number 7. Oh man, my legs are so sore sitting like this. Like, I've been sitting like this for nearly 3 hours and my legs are so sore. So, started around again, and it's been the battle of the jabs, but Joshua, look, he's not been throwing many right hands. Now, to be fair, he's been missing a lot of the right hands he's been throwing. He's not a Deontay Wilder with the right hand. He's not as fast or as accurate with it. But I think you should just start throwing it a bit more. I think Helenius is there to be hitting. Oh, you nearly got him there with the right hand. You see, Joshua, throw it a bit more, you'll have some more success. If this fight goes 12 rounds, I'd be very surprised. I'd be shocked. Not in a good way. Certainly not in a good way. People think it's time for AJ to retire, is what they're saying in the comments. I'm definitely not in that camp yet, but I'm surprised by what I'm seeing from Joshua in here. And I wonder how, you see, here's the thing to remember is how are the fans going to take this fight? You know, are they going to accept it? Because sometimes they haven't been accepting of fights being a bit dull and boring, although Joshua's definitely doing better. Although we took a shot there from Robert Helenius. This fight is not the most compelling viewing in terms of it's not, you know, rock'em sock'em robots. And how will the casual audience, oh, big right hand! Down goes Helenius. Joshua wins. That is how you do it. That's how you do it. Finally, that is how you do it. Joshua with a bloody nose, and he's straight out of the ring. Straight out of the ring. And where is he off to? Huge right hand. Down went Robert Helenius. That is how you do it. He could have done that earlier. Definitely. He's got a bloody nose, damage under the eye. Should have done that from earlier. But he has done it. In the 7th round, but he has done it. Credit Anthony Joshua, credit to Robert Helenius. He did much better than I thought he would. To leave that fight with a big swelling on the eye and bloody nose is good. He's thanking everyone at ringside, goes over to Conor McGregor. But I would definitely be saying that there's a lot of improvements that need to be made there, 100%. People, I am going to do a post-fight review of this fight, and I'll chat to you in a wee bit. The reason why we're not sticking around much longer is my legs are in an absolute state. I've been sitting here for nearly 3 hours. I hope you have all enjoyed this live. I have enjoyed doing the commentary. You've not had to listen to Mike Costello, so you're welcome. 600 in the building. On the way out, smash the like button. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. As I said, jab, and boom, big right hand. Down goes Helenius, and boom. It's all she wrote. No need for a count. Joshua with it beautiful. Let's watch it again. Let's watch this right hand again. So he jabs, and he jabs again to the body. A double jab to head and body. Brings the right hand down, and he lands it on Helenius' chin. He could have done that earlier, but he didn't. But he's done it now. Huge right hand. Down goes Helenius. Joshua wins in 7. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We're about to do a post-fight review. I will chat to you in due course. For everyone watching, I bid you farewell. Peace.